Whoa, Ludocatic Swine, thank you for the subscription. Good looking. Ooh. Yes, tis I on a Monday. Now you might be asking yourself, why am I live on a Monday? Why did I not tell anyone anything? Why am I just here? Barely 6 minutes into the stream talking to whomever decided to check in. And that's because I cannot watch any more basketball today because I don't have Peacock. So I decided I have like an hour or two to kill. Why not hop on the internet, see how people are doing? Someone's eating chicken tendies. We love that. But yeah, I guess that's why. That's basically why I just decided to get on the internet. I realize if I like actually scheduled things, like had a stream schedule, had all those things, it would probably be better for everyone involved. But that's also not me. You know what I mean? I'm not. I like to test my audience. Who's a real one? Who's who's born on a Monday night and like, I'm gonna go on the internet and just see what he's doing. That's whom I need. Let's see, what do you have? By being out of the day, working in the morning, seeing to deep water, yeah. I'm gonna see the Mortal Kombat movie next week. You don't know what it says about you? I'll tell you what it says. It says you're a real one. It says you, no matter what, once that notification comes out, you're locked in. That's that shit I need. That's what I need. I need that energy. Okay. Also, I went live today because some of the comments I be getting, just some of the things I keep getting, I want to low key address. And I know it's not good for a content creator to address the trolls or whatever comments they get all the time, but it's just fucking annoying. Oh shit, Straw Hat. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the winning team, Straw Hat Monty. I am also working on building out this like membership stuff. So don't you guys worry. I'm actually taking this stuff kind of seriously. Um, but there is a comment I keep getting, and I feel like if you saw my community post, it's a reference to that Matt Boers picture I had up there. Where if you don't know what that is, I will show you 1 minute. But I was kind of alluding to this because I don't mind criticism. I really don't. But it's got to be good, and it's like it's got to be original. It's got to be original. Like it's so it's this right here, right? The Matt Boers, we should improve society somewhat, yet you participate in society. Curious, I'm very intelligent. I have been getting a variation of this. Thanks for being live. I need to go to the two playing Sorrowos, watching Switch 2. You know what? I wish I could play Sorrowos, but they fucked me over because they decided to not release it on PC because, oh, I'm Sony. I want to focus on my platform and not thinking about me in particular. But I mentioned this because I've been getting some variation of this in regards to my like Invincible video, specifically one about fixing the Invincible animation, where people are essentially doing the, oh, you will take anything as long as from a multi-billion-dollar company. Everyone doing that, leave that multi-billion-dollar company meme alone. I hate that shit so much. You people lack nuance. Like, it's not even what I'm saying. I'm talking specifically about, like I did in that video, people who are, let's be real, shitting on the work of artists and animators by saying this is better, this looks better, just because they prefer that. And I went in that video and I went over how just by changing the contrast, that doesn't make a scene better or not. It looks different, sure, but everything's just RTX on, RTX off, and it misses the intentions. But at no point was I like, this is why Amazon's great and I love Amazon, right? I wasn't like, no one should be able to critique it. I said you can't, but give actual valuable critique. Just being like, it looks better if I do this little shadow stuff. But every comment I'm getting is just like, no, you don't get it. You're just a fan of multi-billion-dollar corporations. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's my content. Me, the corporate bootlicker, who has never had anything bad to say about any corporations ever. And like, I let a lot of shit go, but I'm just like, y'all really gotta stop. Y'all really gotta stop acting as if I'm saying some shit that's wildly out of pocket and like indefensible when all I'm saying is don't do that to other people's artwork. That's it. You can have your critiques if they're valid. You can have your opinions, but to be like, oh, I care about a multi-billion. When have I ever said I love Amazon or I'm defending Amazon? Like if it's stalking me from DD Steam, it's okay, we can share. But like I've never, like it's such a weird, it's to me it's weird commentary that I'm getting, because I'm like, when have I ever gave you the appearance that I am for capital, that I am for Amazon treating people whatever? But that's like, I'm getting comments like here, like I will click on the video. Well, I'll show what I'm talking about. Right now, a lot of these comments aren't bad. Some people are like, I still feel like animation can be so much better. The space won't kind of work because space is dark. It's like, yeah, that's great. And then people are like, sheep, all y'all are sheep. The shading looks cool. You can think the shading looks cool. That's fine. But then I was getting shit where it's like, y'all defend anything these multi-million-dollar companies do. You can't blame people for wanting great animation when they have millions and millions of dollars, dog. And it's like, Amazon's not animating it, right? Amazon's not animating it. And also, this is more so to, when it comes to like animation, it's less so to do with money and more so to do with time, right? If the overall audience for Invincible was like, we can patiently wait an extra hour or extra year, so an extra year in between seasons, so instead of one every year, one every 2 years, which we know they can't, but if they could do that, I would be more credence to the, yeah, let's let them take time. Take your time. Makes it a better product. Time usually helps with everything. But we both know that's not the case. And that's not how they've been running this shit. They want it to be annual. It is what it is. But people act as if, oh, it's a budget, it's money, it's money, it's money. It's not. Like, how many times have you seen that misinformation going out about, like, an episode of JJK cost 150K, or like a season of JJK cost 150K, but for Invincible it's like $4 million, right? And I'm like, it's not about that. JJK doesn't cost any more than any other anime. What happens is either the skill of the animators and the time they get to do something. Even last season of JJK, the animators were like, we felt rushed and we couldn't do everything we wanted to do. Still turned out amazing work, but they couldn't do everything they wanted to do. Point being, with all this shit, it's like, this right here, just, oh, you'll just defend companies and their critique is wanting great animation. What do you mean by great animation? What do you mean? Because animation is way more complex when people are trying to give it credit for. It's not just, oh, I want better lighting. Well, that's compositing. Oh, I want these cool little power effects. Well, that's compositing and visual effects. Animation is how it moves. Right? That's it. You can have limited animation with just like mouth flaps, like in most animes. You could have people animating shit on ones, which no one does, but they can do that too. It's how things move. When people say better animation, I'm like, In what regard? What do you think a better animation? What do you think that is? It's like, oh, we just want better animation. You can't even articulate. You can't even articulate what you want. Like, imagine if someone was like, "Oh, this movie was bad. I just want a better movie. A better movie in what regard? What better like visuals, like cinematography, like storytelling? Like, I know I'm saying a little bit pedantic, but it's like you can't start this conversation to be like, I just want a better film. Oh, my team lost. I wish we would have. I wish we were better. Like record wise, like skill wise, like talent wise, like coaching wise. Like, if we're gonna get to the nitty gritty, then you have to be able to articulate. I can say I want this show to have better animation, and by that I mean I wish they had more consistent animation. I wish the characters weren't always so off model. I wish they had better fight choreography. I wish they had better compositing is one of it, right? I wish it had more weight to the movement. The characters feel too light when they're using these impacts. I wish the anime had better sound effects. I wish the sound design was better. Like, One Piece finally has gotten an improvement to its sound design. One Piece had some of the most annoying sound design for the longest time. But I can say that instead of being, I wish it was better. Exactly. Designs, motion, like there's so many things that go into it. Oh, the fans just want better animation. I don't think you know what you mean when you say better animation, to be completely honest. And I know that I'm just like a pedantic asshole. I don't care. I don't think a lot of people know what they're saying when they say that shit. Because I can show you a scene and it's like, oh, it looks cool and flashy. There's barely any animation happening here. Conversely, I can show you something like simple. It's like there's a ton of animation happening here. Character animation, the expressiveness, like that's huge. Again, modern One Piece has really improved its animation, and not just the visual quality or fidelity of it, but like the actual character acting through animation. It's so much more expressive. What are we talking about today? Me going through some comments that have been annoying me, and then just whatever comes to my brain, man. This will probably be just like a 2 hour thing, so nothing really planned out. Although someone did want me to talk about Don't Nod in one of my comments, talking about Don't Nod and how people are treating it. So I guess I can look into that. Don't Nod affiliate. I think look into that. Although I did mention that a little bit a while ago. Actually, like last stream, people were complaining about Aphelion, and I'm just like, it's weird. But actually, what I really want to talk about is the same shit I kind of always talk about. There's a channel that does reaction commentary by animations called 3B 3Bisky. 3Bisky, and he goes deeply on it. I'll probably check it out. I had some of the same sound effects long ago, but only got a glimpse of maybe the color but supreme. We did just get to LBF. Yeah. Like, all right, I will say some shit. Maybe this will be a hot take stream. But yeah, maybe it'll be a hot take stream. But I absolutely cannot stand the level of damn near cult worship that One Piece fans do. And this is as someone who is current to One Piece, who's read One Piece, who's watched a lot of it, basically read One Piece. I fucking I hate how these in general. I do not like fandoms. Okay, that's the hot take. I've always thought fandoms were trash, and the reason why I think fandoms are trash is because they never stay as a spot where people can talk about and discuss things they enjoy. It always becomes this is an echo chamber, and there's only one right opinion about anything ever. When it comes to like One Piece, it's Oda is the best writer to ever touch a pen. One Piece is the best series ever. Every series is bad. You cannot like any other fucking series. And Oda is the only person to ever do foreshadowing, which is one of the most basic writing skills. He's the only one to do foreshadowing. He's never had a bad arc. There's never been wasted characters. There's never been anything bad happened. But every other series is the worst. Like, that's the shit I hate. And I know some people, oh, it's a welcome night. No, bro. It's all of them. It's all of them. It's fucking all of them. Every fandom is trash. If you cannot engage in critical discourse about the media you're imbibing, then your fandom's trash. If it cannot sustain critique, then it's trash. Like, that's the shit I always hated, especially in like nerd spaces. Oh my fucking god! Let someone say they weren't a fan of like Dressrosa, and 8,000 people would descend out of nowhere. You just didn't understand the story. What do you mean? You didn't like it? No, I didn't like Dressrosa. Guess what? I didn't fucking like Syrup Village either. People go like, you guys didn't like Skypiea? I was always indifferent to Skypiea, but just because the lore of Skypiea has had more significant attention later on in the series doesn't mean that Skypiea is a fantastic, amazing, great arc. It can be informative, but the way they present it could be boring as shit. That's fine. There are a lot of One Piece arcs I'm just like, yeah, I could. And One Piece is formulaic. And none of this is to say that One Piece is bad, but it is extremely formulaic. It's a fucking shonen. All shonens are formulaic to some degree. Like, here's the basic One Piece structure. After Luffy has assembled his entire crew, they go to an island. They almost immediately get separated by some sort of machination, whether it's deciding for them to go in teams, they get split up when they arrive, they go shopping and shit happens, whatever. They get split up, and they are split apart for typically a significant portion of the arc. The bad guys do some bad guy shit. Each Straw Hat has their own fight. I'm just kidding. We know Nami and Usopp and Chopper are no longer allowed to fight, but most of the Straw Hats engage in the fight one-on-ones, and then Luffy takes out the big bad. That is the arc of almost every One Piece arc, period. Like, the sole exception of Thriller Bark, which I thought was cool. I thought it was cool that, yeah, Zoro got to do his own shit, but at the end, the Straw Hats teamed up to fight against Oz. Granted, it was Luffy's shot, but still, like, that was kind of cool to see everyone's strength played together. Oh, Punk Hazard is so fucking forgettable for me. I'm so sorry. Punk Hazard is an arc I always forget happens, even though I know what happens in Punk Hazard. I always forget because I'm just like, yeah, they go into the new world, and then they fight against Doflamingo. It's like, nope, you're missing. It's like, oh yeah, Caesar Clown. That gets him to, yeah, Caesar Clown, and then Kinemon is just there, and they're like, no, they meant my Punk Hazard. I'm like, oh yeah, I just keep forgetting Punk Hazard. There, you know what arc I didn't like either? I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'll tell you guys straight up. Straight up. These are the arcs of One Piece I'm just like, I could skip. We're gonna just, for sake of brevity, we'll do it post Alabasta, because fucking the only arc I didn't like was really Syrup Village. I'm sorry, Usopp. I'm sorry to all the Captain Kuro fans. I thought Syrup Village was fucking boring. But it's so post Alabasta, right? You have I mean, I guess technically it's Skypiea, right? It's no, not Skypiea. It's Water 7. Jesus Christ. Water 7, Enos Lobby. That shit was banger, actually. I think Water 7 is one of the best One Piece arcs ever done, truthfully. Like, I think it's one of the best arcs they've ever done. But no, I'm pretty sure Sky Island comes first. So when it first came out, I didn't really give a shit about Sky Island. I'm not gonna front. I wasn't all like, yeah, wipers. I didn't give a fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. But after that, Water 7, so that saga, Water 7 arc, Long Ring, Long Island, or Long Land, The only cool thing about that is, I guess, the introduction to Deki back fights, and of course, my boy Akoiji showing up at the end and freezing everybody, okay? Water 7, Enos Lobby, peak. Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. Philip Bark? Okay. Because that leads to the Straw Hats being separated by. By the way, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have spoilers. Uh, that leads to the Straw Hats being separated by MVP Bartholomew Kuma. Okay, I fuck with that. Um, Sabaody. Okay, that's when you got to meet. That's when you got to meet the uh the supernovas, right? And then the entire Marineford saga after Saga doesn't follow formula that, but it's based on formula most. Actually, actually, it still follows that formula. So okay. So you're saying after Marineford, right? Which is, I mean, basically it's called this. Technically, it's called the Summit War, but we all say Marineford, right? When they go to Fishman Island, do all the Straw Hats stay together? Because I don't think that's the case. And then Dressrosa, Punk, Hazard, clearly no. I mean, Dressrosa, they literally split up to the team that goes to Zhao, and then a team that goes to Dressrosa, right? So Straw Hats not together for a large percentage of time. Whole cake, they split up. Luffy ends up fighting against Katakuri at the end. Everyone's split. They're not all together, right? Wano, famously, they spend a significant amount of time not together, right? And then, like, I think even at Egghead, I guess Egghead is the okay. I would say Egghead's like the only arc with the Star Hats don't really separate because it's such a small building. But even then, they kind of do separate because Luffy's up top and he's fighting against Kizaru, and then you have like Sanji and Bonnie, who's not a Straw Hat, but come on, around the bottom. So they're all over the place. Yeah, they kind of split, but they're still in the same general area. And then Elbaf, yeah, they split up in Elbaf. It's technically still happening, but they split up. Oh, during the Marineford arc after 708. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, okay, but technically you're right, but that's only because they were split up during Amazon Lily. They were split up that entire arc, actually. So I guess technically you're right. It doesn't happen during that arc, but it's because it's a layover for what happened in the previous arc. But nothing I said here means that One Piece is bad, right? Like, and that's something I don't understand. People get so offended when you talk about specifically One Piece. If you don't praise it 24/7, they get so mad at you. They will throw everything in you. Especially if you also like Naruto. Oh my god. Oh my god, you like Naruto too? Kishimoto can't write side characters. I always hated that, by the way. I always hated that. Because like it's not like Oda writes these fantastic side characters and has high utilization rates. Oda writes a shit ton of characters, and then he kind of just picks and chooses when they show up. But like, if you want to talk about development of characters, what have the Straw Hats been doing these last couple of years? Like, what's Frankie been doing since he joined the Straw Hat crew? What's his story been like? He had his arc at Water 7, Enos Lobby, and then Nami obviously had Arlong Park and everything up to that. But then after that, not much. Usopp kind of has a recursive arc because his arc can't really end because he's not going to be a brave hero of the scene to end of the series. Like, there are definitely some flaws to Oda's writing style. I mean, granted, he's writing a fucking series that's been going on for 30,000 years, but he's not perfect. He's really fucking good. He's not perfect. No one is. But if you mention that, it is an attack. You're a fake fan. You don't like things. You don't understand. It's like I do understand. I deeply understand, especially from like a writing creative side. I understand that. I respect his ability to leave dangling plot threads so he can move things along and introduce characters in one arc and then have them pay off later. I respect that. But that doesn't mean every time he does it's interesting. I don't like the fact that most important things in One Piece happen off screen, right? Like you don't even see what happens with Ace and Blackbeard after a while. You never see what happens between Akainu and Akoiji. You see the aftermath, but I think that's also a bit of a cop out to just be like, yeah, these characters are so powerful and strong, and then oh, they're finally fighting, and then they cut away. I also am not a fan of his use of fake out deaths, right? But you'll see lots of One Piece fans will never critique that. But let it be any other series, they'll call the Naruto pain act the Mickey Mouse arc, but then fucking Pell surviving in Alabasta. Well, he's a zone type, so they come on, be fucking for real. But again, I might be getting a little bit too deep with One Piece. But in general, I have a strong dislike of fandoms because no matter the fandom, they do not allow you to actually be a fan of something in a critical way. It has to be constant glaze and praise. And to me, that's not fan, that's cult like behavior. It's cult like behavior. I think outside of the props in One Piece, the Star Hat's character development and side characters, but I also think that they work with most characters. Yeah, that's fine. They are lots of static characters, lots of static / flat characters in One Piece. But again, if you say that, the One Piece fans will kill you because they hear the word static or flat. That means you're bad. It's like, no. Luffy is a flat character. That doesn't mean he doesn't have any depth. What that means, though, is Luffy is fully formed. Luffy will always be Luffy. There is no growth for Luffy as a character. He is that character. His impact is the world around him. Similar to an extent to Naruto, where Naruto being Naruto is what changes people. Like that's typical of lots of shonen characters. Goku's a flat character. Static. They don't change. But it is through that impermanence that people evolve. But the one knock I have against One Piece is I think too many characters are either flat in One Piece. So it kind of makes it seem like they're almost like cardboard cutouts because they don't have anyone to go against that. The most recent person who was different was fucking Nico Robin. And the minute Nico Robin joined their team, she became Big Mom. Not Big Mom, but she became like the mother of the group, right? And one could say she was always like that. She's had to have that tough exterior because of what happened with her past, which I understand. But then it's like, oh, so another goofball joins the Star Hats. I think having a more serious character would actually do a lot for the Star Hats from a character standpoint. But again, y'all, that doesn't mean I hate One Piece. Just like when I talk about video games and I critique them, doesn't mean I fucking hate this game. I just have critiques about it because I want it to be better. But nothing's perfect. To me, that's the fun part. Like, you should be able to engage in shit you like. I'm sure there are videos I've made and takes I've made that you guys don't agree with. You've let me know. But that's the fun part. We get to see, we get to test our criticisms. We get to test, do we really know what we're talking about? Or, I hadn't thought about it that way. But all fandoms are just fucking echo chambers. I hate them so much. That's why I find it hard to call myself a fan of things now. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm enjoying this, or I'm reading this, or I'm checking this out. But I'm never like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of this. Because you get lumped into these categories where it's just like, y'all don't fucking allow people to criticize anything. Like, don't worry, big dog. Me saying that I didn't like this arc in One Piece, Oda's not gonna fucking stop writing One Piece now because I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, Sanji got a character thing in Whole Cake Island, slightly long on Brook. Spoilers seems to be getting more relevant. Elbap. If you're an anime only, I will stop it there. If you're reading the manga, it's kinda. I also will say this. There are I look at One Piece a lot like Grand Theft Auto as like Rockstar in the lens that due to its brand, a lot of people are hesitant to levy any sort of critique against it because of the backlash, right? Like, let's talk about gaming for a second now. A lot of people are excited, are super excited for Grand Theft Auto 6, right? And of course they are. It's a venerable franchise. There are, huge fans. But recently, I just saw that Jason Schreier, and I'm not going to read the article because it's on Bloomberg and that means I have to pay for it. But Jason Schreier was talking to Strauss Zelnick, and Strauss Zelnick is kind of worried in terms of expectations. Let's see if I can actually like read it somewhere. Much like One Piece, I hate GTA. Yeah, I said it. You can hate it. Listen, I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't get the hype for GTA. And I think if we're being really real, I think a lot of people don't get the hype either. I just think a lot of people are afraid to say that because it's GTA. Much like people are afraid to talk about One Piece in any sort of critical way because it's One Piece. But I was reading it and they were talking about how he wants this game to do something that hasn't been done before. I'm like, but what's that? Like what hasn't been done before? Like that's something I don't. Okay, I thought I could get away with watching it, but no, I can't do it. But like, what is something that GTA 6 is going to do that other games haven't done? Like, I don't understand. Like that. And I might get my gamer card pulled, but I'm like, I mean, let's if we're really okay. So I guess I can do a new version actually available. What the fuck? I don't care. Anyways, so I guess I can kind of do it through here through Twitter. It was okay. Jason Schreier published a new GTA 6 article. Strauss Zelnick has said expectations are so high and terrifying. The creative team are given unlimited financial resources to deliver perfection. Sony has a marketing deal with Rockstar, but it's not the reason why the game won't launch on PC day one. That's bullshit. Rockstar has historically gone to consoles first to serve core consumers, says Strauss. Consoles and a PC release later could be a chance to drive more sales and even get some customers. I don't care. Development costs have gone significantly up, and AI's influence is notwithstanding, as they haven't seen cost decline yet. Selling 10 million units would be considered disastrous for this game, as some analysts have forecast it will exceed 25 million. So the stakes are high. I hate everything about this. I hate everything about this. This goes in a little bit more detail. Yeah, GTA 5 or GTA 6 could sell more than 25 million copies within 24 hours, positioning it as one of the largest entertainment launches in history. Terrifying because of the stakes. Intense crunch likely increases the stakes across the board. I think here our goal is to deliver to consumers something that has never been experienced before. Being on the sidelines but pretty close to the front of the sidelines is very, very exciting and terrifying because the expectation is so high. Development cost has gone up and up, and we really do aim to deliver the highest quality entertainment on earth, and that is costly. And AI influence is notwithstanding. We haven't seen the cost decline yet. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I hate this. I hate every single thing about this. I hate every single thing about this. I hate the inevitable takeaways that people are going to get from this. And I hate the fact that GTA 6 is the one game that people are like, yeah, it should cost $80. It should cost $100. GTA gets this, just Rockstar in general just gets this excuse, and I get it. They do make good games, but look at the cost, not like the financial cost. Look at what like Capcom's been doing. Right, they're releasing smaller games, still highly polished games, smaller games on a smaller scale that are enjoyable, accessible, and you don't have to wait 12 years to get it. The fact that they're focusing more on like, look how much Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to cost. It needs to sell 25 million. I don't know if you guys know, that's an insane amount to have to sell. Like to forecast 25 million within 24 hours. That is an insane amount. And yeah, could GTA do it? Probably only this and Call of Duty could. But I don't think that's a good that's a good thing. Like from a first I'll talk more of a personal note than like a broader, but like the Grand Theft Auto series, what does it do? What does it do that's so special that it can warrant this level of both hype and also reverence? And this is from someone who I played San Andreas, I played GTA 4, GTA 5. I played a pretty decent amount of Grand Theft Auto games. They're mostly the same. The stories are mostly the same. You are a criminal. You are trying to make your way either through the underground or a getaway. There's not much flexibility in that. Shit's tough. You join a gang, you join a mafia, you do some sort of criminal enterprise, and you run afoul of either a cop or someone who's also within a criminal enterprise, and like, that's it. Like more or less, right? There's not like there's no new take on that. So it has to rely on the characters. But a lot of the characters are either heightened like cardboard cutouts of pre-existing tropes, or they're silent and boring. Yeah, like okay, CJ is uh I wouldn't even say CJ is that good of a character. Right? He's serviceable, but he's not like extremely memorable. Most of the side characters are like big smoke because all you had to do was follow the goddamn train, CJ. But I guess Trevor's supposed to be an amalgamation of their average GTA player. So even that's more of a satirical take. I would say there's pretty decent satire, but there's nothing to me that GTA does. I'm like, I would pay $80 for this. I'd pay $1,000,000 for this. It's just hype. I don't still play GTA 5. Right? I know people do lots of GTA Online. I don't do that. So I'm like, from a personal standpoint, I don't understand the level of hype and reverence the GTA series gets in particular. And on a bigger scale, this is going to fuck up so much game production because all these investors are going to see is look how much money they put into Grand Theft Auto, look how much money they made. Hey, why don't we dump $200 billion into this game so we can make $400 billion in this game? Like it's like GTA Rockstar gets a complete pass of any sort of criticism, and it's just like no, everyone's complaining about how AAA budgets are bloated, how they hate the AAA stink, they hate the fact that there's like going to be microtransactions and this and that, and then GTA is like we're going to do that, and everyone's like yes please, and also please make your game cost $100. Like it's just a sandbox. It's a sandbox, and the story. I think the best story they've had was in GTA 4. Um, but yeah, in fact, I think GTA 4 is one of the best ones. I think GTA 5 is like it's cool to dick around with, but there's not again that really memorable characters or the story just not really impactful. Like, how many of you guys are GTA 5 fans? You okay? So, what is it about GTA 5 is particular for you? Is it like the story? Is it the character? Or is it like the shit you can do in it? No, you're playing GTA 4 only. And this is not me trying to shame man who likes it, but what I'm for me, it's like how do I put this? I'd understand if it was like, oh man, this game does shit that no one else does. Like Strauss Zelnick said, he wants to do things that hasn't been done before. But I'm like, what is that? Like, what experience could GTA 6 give that no other game has given before? Both the stuff you can do and the characters. Okay, that's cool for you. I don't think the characters in GTA 5 are really anything to write home about. And I think the problem with GTA 5 is because they split it between three people. So you never really get a sense of anyone as a character because it's Michael, Trevor, and Franklin, right? I thought it'd be stronger if they would have focused on Franklin's story. I don't think Trevor is necessary. His missions are kind of random and fun, but again, he's supposed to be the amalgamation of a GTA player. But I think GTA 4, I'm like, that's when they actually had a story with a good emotional core, with a more consistency too, and you still had some. Wait, hold on, wait. San Andreas is the most woke game ever that they praise it. Now I think GTA 6 will be a woke flop. Oh my god. They're only gonna call it a woke flop because that's the only way these people know how to talk about a game, just so you guys know that. 2 does more interesting stuff with me than the GTA game. I don't what are you saying? 2AT does more? What is that? But no, like it's real quick what Demas was talking about. They can only talk about games in that way. They can only say this game's gonna flop. It's gonna be a woke flop. It's gonna be trash. It's gonna be garbage. Or it's going to be the game that finally kills the wokeness or whatever. They can't talk about a video game in its actual like context. They can't talk about why a game's going to succeed. The story I connected more with Michael than Trevor. Franklin was a close second. For me, Michael was just. I feel like there wasn't enough time with Michael for me to be like, okay. Again, this is just for me. Like, I think it's the splitting of the characters was kind of a. I think I heard it a little bit. I like GTA 4 a bit more because it's more focused. It's an obscure indie game. Oh, okay. But yeah, like I don't know what they're trying to do when they say, "Oh, we're gonna do something different." I'm like, are you gonna like if I commit a crime in GTA 6, is like ICE literally gonna come to my house? Like is are the data brokers having a deal with Rockstar where whoever buys the game has their data sent to them? So if they commit crimes, they can like map out where they live in real life. Like what new experience are you gonna give me? Especially, let's be real, going back to GTA 6, right? They're in Florida, right? Which they've been in before. Or sorry, Vice City. Oh, they're essentially in Florida again, right? So it's like you're repeating a location, much like I did in GTA 5. But what else? Like from a technical standpoint, this shit looks amazing. From a technical standpoint, the fidelity they have achieved while maintaining like the vastness of an open world game, that's fucking amazing to me. That is some shit that yes, whoever are the engineers in this, whoever designed it, fucking kudos, dude. That's amazing. But outside of that, I'm just like, who knows? Maybe they will. I mean, I'll have time because I won't get a console, so I'll wait till it comes to PC. But I just don't see the immediate appeal to it. Yeah, GTA 4 is more of a person. So yeah, that's why I liked it though. I like that you got to see the world through Nico, who was an immigrant from like I think like Bosnia. He was like from like and he was like did some shady shit, and he's trying to get away from it all. And then like there's more of emotional through line through that story because the bad guy at the game into the game is the one who put Nico through all that shit to make him leave in the first place. How's it go? Who's the clown today? I don't know. I haven't really moved on from just talking about the way that we seem to have conversations. Nico's from Serbia. I thought it was Bosnia. I thought he was in the Bosnian War. My bad. Uh, but yeah, I'm just like the way we treat GTA and the same way we treat One Piece, where there's just these properties that cannot be criticized. And I'm like, I mean, like I'm not a huge GTA fan, but I know people again are talking about how GTA 6 is going to be a woke flop. To which I say, if they say this, they are admitting they don't know anything, right? Like they don't know anything. They don't know anything. If they think GTA is going to be a flop, then they're as smart as Andy Pants, who has a whole video that says why GTA 6 will suck. But they're not. It's not going to flop. Let's be real. But I will say that it is kind of telling that they're doing crunch, and I feel like the people who are covering GTA aren't really talking about that. What is your favorite Mafia? 1, 2, 3, or Old World? I have never played a Mafia game. I'm gonna tell you guys what kind of gamer I am, and that'll let you know. Um, I I I play open world games on occasions, mostly action games. Like you have like your Witchers, and most Western RPGs will fall into that category. But I'm not a big like, oh, let's do like Mafia open. I'm not into that shit. I'm not. Put this way, I'm not the guy. If I have an open world, it needs to be fantasy. I don't want just open world that you can run and shoot. That's whatever. I don't care. It needs to be fantasy. I need to be able to walk around and get attacked like a griffin. Like that's what I need. That's the kind of gamer I am. And I also like games that respect my time. I do have criticism against both IPs. One Piece pacing issues and very plot armor. You can have plot armor, but make it reasonable. GTA 5 is a good game. I know some characters kind of boring. What you looking forward to? Witcher 4 then? Yes. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the shit. Mafia, I know, but Mafia doesn't interest me. Like, gang shit doesn't interest me. So that's me. Seen this guy today say that crunch is not a Rockstar problem, it's an India problem. Bro, I am so tired of the racism, man. Like I'm so tired of just everyone having the most insane racist takes all the time. I promise you, we used to be normal. We used to be normal. We used to be able to just be like, crunch is bad. We used to be able to be like, hey, you see this video game? It's bad because of X, Y, and Z, not because of it's Mexican stealing your job, and that's why the game's bad. It's so annoying. I am also deathly sick of the word woke. There was a comment that reminded me. Thank you, Gina. There was a comment I got today that was so insane to me because there was some, I'm going to presume, non-black person telling me that I can't tell them what woke means. Woke means what they want it to mean, not what I think they want. And I was like, the audacity to tell a black person what woke means and that you're tired of other people telling you what it is. Like, I'm like, the audacity, like, ooh, y'all be sometimes sometimes being black, visibly black, is one of the worst things. That's out of touch. I'm not saying he's a grifter, but sometimes being black is one of the worst things. Okay? All right. Now I'm gonna tell you why. 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 Being black, being visibly black, meaning me, right? Like I'm in this nerd space. I am very vocal about my opinions. You have to deal with every form of microaggression slash macroaggression possible, and that gets in the way of most arguments or most critiques or anything. Like, let me clarify, because it's kind of a lot I've been thinking about today. I watched a couple of videos today, one of them being Fear of the Other by, let me shout some people out real quick. Let me shout out some other black creators. At least this video, because I don't know if they're like, fucked up or something. But it was a video from Tier List Man 39, and then a video for, here, I'll show you. So a video from Tier List Man 39 and JD Media. These are two videos that kind of got me talking about this, even though I've been thinking about it for a while. And that is to say, anytime a black person who's highly visible on the internet has an opinion, that opinion is almost immediately disregarded unless it's about something they believe black people have knowledge on. So basically, if it's not about sports, or specifically hip hop music, it gets immediately dismissed because we're seen as other, right? Especially in these nerd spaces, we are always othered. We're hood weebs. We are too woke to play video games, too sensitive, all these things. And if we address any of it, then that just strengthens their stance. Like, see, you guys can't handle anything. No matter how many times I have had this conversation online, it's a continuous thing. So when I do talk about it, just know that I've been waiting, because if I talked about it every time it came up, all of my content would just be that. And even I would find that be like fucking boring. But a factor, an aspect of that was my Black Vulturemite video, right? Where I was more jokey, ha 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 ha, more lighthearted. This is not going to be that, because we are constantly, constantly having to justify everything about us. My existence in this space is political. Just it is. It's a political thing. If I have a take that goes against most gamers, which at this point it most certainly will, because most gamers online in this space are borderline engaging in fascism, it's immediately about the color of my skin. It's, well, of course you would. Oh, you. I got a comment where the people are talking about. Oh well, you know, why am I talking? I'm gonna show you guys. Why am I talking? I can literally show you guys. I can literally show you guys. Where is it? It is, well, first and foremost, the fact that people were mad about the Sorrowos thing when they made up that the person was going to end up with a black lesbian, and they really emphasized the fact that the person's both black and a lesbian, because being with a black person is already seen as something wrong, right? Like, again, our existence is fully just a political, and it's always a statement, it's always an agenda. It's never just something that naturally occurs. Black people don't exist. Or it's the, I'm okay with that, but they're doing it the wrong way. They're putting it in our face. There's too much diversity, actually. Or then they will try to come for our intelligence to be like, hey, don't you guys know they're just pandering to you? It's like, yeah, they were also pandering to you when they had these white people in these games, but you didn't have a problem with that. But if we bring that up, we're causing an issue in gaming. But when they bring up in Sorrowos that white characters are not important, suddenly it's a fucking genocide happening to them, and it must be corrected. And I hate that shit so goddamn much. It's so annoying. It's so exhausting. But it must be stated. I am not ever, I am not ever going to let these people win. Just like, look, okay, here. This is about the SARS video. This is one of the comments. Listen here, jesters. These stories should not be in video games. Books and film is fine because it's more of a reality than a fantasy. I don't know how books and movies are more reality than a video game. This is a fantasy game trying to involve the current mental illness in our society. It, like, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking. Don't worry, you guys. I am reading the chats too. Yes, a white character never has to justify them anytime, ever, ever. Here's looking for entire rant, 14 minutes onwards wasn't needed. He isn't wrong to point out how every white character is undervalued, especially male. You wouldn't complain or say to nitpick if he said any other race. The issue with this, Marcus, is that they will never say any other race, because the person I'm referring to in this video is Endymion. People like Endymion will never watch a video of or a film or play a game or read a book and notice the lack of minorities present, because that's what they like. They don't see that. They don't notice that. It's white white noise. It's background noise to them. It's background noise to them. They won't see that. They, in fact, are so oblivious to it, they can only notice it when they notice they're no longer the focus. When they aren't the focus, that's when suddenly this shit matters. That's when representation matters. That's when they suddenly care. And that's the hypocrisy I will always point out. You don't get to come on here and be like, look at all these queer, black, etc., 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 making up shit. You don't get to do all that, and then the very next breath being like, "Oh, it's white genocide because there's a white guy in the background character and he's not immediately useful." Oh, it's demasculate. It's emasculating. Actually, it's emasculating for having this white male character take a side seat to like this black female character because she's so strong. Girl boss. She's so strong. She's so independent. She's so this. These people can't handle when they're not the sole focus of attention. And that's been proven time and time and time and time again. If the lead is not straight, white, and cis, they get so mad. They get so upset. Again, they created a fiction about Sorrowos to be mad about, lesbians to be upset at, lesbians that don't visibly exist. They always attack our race, do not point. Exactly. But they can't attack the points. That's the whole point too. That's why they always like to engage in conversation, attack minorities. Because when it's another straight white dude telling them the same things, they can't be like, "Oh, we're just being woke." It's, "Oh, well, then it becomes you're a Taurus, you're this, you're that." None of these people can engage critically with the content they're talking about. And so what they do is they rely on their audiences to go and harass the creators or posters who are speaking differently than them. That's what happens. And I know you guys have seen it, unfortunately, in my comment sections where there'll be people who just come in there and be like, "Oh, no, actually, you're a cuck. This is the cuck fact. You're all cucks. Your sexual fantasies are not my concern." Okay? And surprise, surprise, this is also something that I get on my Twitter a lot too. Especially this recent one, which makes no sense. But I have to share with you guys because it is absolutely completely irrelevant to what I posted. But again, people see black and they go completely insane. There's a guy who's upset that I don't like Nick Fuentes. You want to see what I wrote to get him so mad? I wrote, "Do you see why it's insane for people to say him and Hassan are the same?" Nick Fuentes says that America is an inward hell. Then he realizes he probably shouldn't have said that while wearing a James Fishback for Governor Quarter Zip. My apologies to the campaign. I won't play it because I don't know if YouTube's going to do something about that. But Nick Fuentes is saying this. And all I wrote was this. And this guy who thinks he's black, but is not black clearly. Far left people like you just don't get it. And instead of deciding to have a convo, you become more radical and hard headed, and far right people like Nick blossom for it. What the fuck does this have to do with anything I said? I don't get what. He just said America is an inward hell. What am I not understanding? What am I not understanding? Like he keeps going. Your dumbass doesn't learn shit though. He keeps having multiple tweets instead of having one consecutive tweet. And he did this with another post of mine, which is about I posted my video. Like he's just obsessed. Like he's literally like he's obsessed. I wrote again, I did this. So we're just making sure to be mad at you. Anti people are fucking fragile morons. And then he's like, "You're a bitch ass nigga, bro. Pure and simple, especially pure and simple." And you running to your white blonde haired, blue eyed master for permission like a good little boy on what you can and can't say. 6'8" buff motherfucker, and you first off 6'9", and you at this dude's beck and call, all like, "Yes, sir, thank you, sir. I'm a good boy, sir." I'm talking about Sorrowos, and he's having a fantasy about a white person in my big buff body. And I said, "Any other fantasies you want to get off your chest? Obvious non-black person pretending to be black online." Bro, the only one obviously not black here is your California ass sucking up to your white masters, bro. How about I go on your show live and show how not black I am then if you're so sure? Like they always want this. They always want this right here. Oh yeah? Well, the only person who's not black is you, person I call black and who's visibly black. Why don't you invite me on your show? Why don't you just invite me on your show? Please let me come on your show. I want to come on your stream. Please let me go on your stream. It's like, baby, you ain't gotta do all this. You ain't gotta do all this. You ain't gotta do all this. And I know it's the same guy. It's the same guy from the one I banned from last time. But like this level of being pathetic. But notice how the first thing he does, to go back to my point, the first thing he does is immediately talk about my race. He immediately talks about my race. I make a video. I post a tweet about my video. I mention no one's race. The first thing he does is just 6'8" buff black person. Like first thing he does is talk about my physical appearance. Immediately. And then he just stays on me being black. Yeah, bring me on your show and I'll turn on my camera a little, bro. We could talk face to face like men, not pushes on Blue Sky. What? Oh, was we confident before and now we a 6'8" nervous ass nigga who's scared of eating his words? Yeah, that's what I thought, because you Uncle Tom ass nigga. Like again, the obsession is real. I get it. Listen. I get it. It's the voice. It's the face. It's all of this. I get it. I understand. I would be, listen, same. If I saw me, yes, I want to be on that show. I want you to see me. I understand that. But baby, you ain't got to do all that, man. You ain't got to do all that. I'm giving you this for free. You don't have to do all this. You look bad. It's a little desperate. I don't do desperate. It's a bit desperate. But they will always go to race. Always. What does me being 6'8" have to do with 6'8" and black have to do with me talking about Sorrowos? Nothing. This fan fiction they come up with. My white blonde hair and blue eye master? Bitch, where? What are you talking about? Like, it's this repressed, like, homoerotic energy that they have for all of these male content creators, and it gets magnified if it's racially based. Because what the fuck is this? And I deal with this all the time. All the time. White people don't have their whiteness called out or checked for a take. But oh my God, I don't like Nick Fuentes, therefore I'm not black. Hey, I think it's fucking stupid that you guys are making up a story about Sorrowos in which you can be mad at both black people and queer people. That's weird. Oh, well, you're just a cuck now. And they talk about being cucks. I'm like, again, you guys have weird sexual fantasies. Well, not weird. It's healthy. But you guys, your sexual proclivities are not my business. Everyone's calling everything your cuck. You get cucked in this game. You get cucked in this game. You don't get cucked in this game. You don't get cucked in fucking any game. Unless it's on the adult section of Steam, you don't get cucked in any game. But they view everything through a very hypersexual lens. And that's something I haven't really talked about. These people are so repressed because, let's be completely honest, they are not having sex. They aren't. They will tell you they are, but through their actions, you can clearly tell that they're not. And so because of that, everything they look at is through a hypersexualized lens. Whether it's, look at this guy, he must get sex because he's attractive and he's ripped, and I'm not going to analyze that thought process. Or it's, look at these women, they're so ugly. They're ugly, disgusting, repulsive. Not like my big titty waifus, which I can jerk off to. Because I'm not getting a sexual release. He mentions me being 6'8". You're upset at me, but you want to go out of the way to talk about my physical presence? Why? He said 6'8" and buff. 6'8" and buff. That's homoerotic, dog. Like that has nothing to do with any argument unless we're talking about literal physiques and we were like comparing physiques. That guy is not even. No, he's not. He's not. Lillian, why are you bad? But again, I get it. It's not his fault though. If I post shit like this, which I do, because come on, I get it. I get it. I understand. I get this. I understand. You see this. You see this. You see that, and you're like, okay, I want this. Look how buff you are. You're 6'8". You're buff. I get it. I understand. I fully understand that. But this has nothing to do with my arguments. You bringing this up just lets me know the workouts are working out for me. But that has nothing to do with the argument I'm presenting. Also, this is a true story yesterday. I went to pick up my food at Wingstop, and a random dude literally asked me if I was on steroids. So there's that. But it immediately gets physical. It is the same thing you'll see with women where they will dismiss their opinion based off of their physical appearance, right? She's ugly, she's not this, she's not that. Or they will heighten someone's opinion because they find them attractive, which isn't a new phenomenon, I know. Attractive people get more benefited, I get that. But within this context, it's still viewed through a very hypersexualized lens. These people are lonely. Because they're so lone because of their piss poor personalities, they view things hypersexually. Everything is sexual for them. Even when they're angry, they're like, "Oh, look at you, you buff 6'8" bitch." It's like weird sort of dissonance happening there. But you're lonely and you're envious because I'm built a certain way, and you think that if you were built that way, that would afford you companionship. That would make you happier. That would somehow fix your life. And because I am presenting in this way, but what I'm saying goes against your worldview, you get so mad because the dissonance happening. Like he's so mad that he wants to come on my stream. What? And it's not like let's have a friendly debate. This is very clearly I've enraged you. Oh, I'm so mad, but I want to be on your stream. I want you to see me. I want you to see me. I want to see each other. I'll get on camera too. I'll do all this. And it's like, no, man, I'm not doing all that for you. Why would I? I took time out today to highlight the patheticness of this. But that's it. That's all you are to me. You're an example I can use as a cautionary tale for other people. You are a jumping off point. But this is what it's like to be visibly black. And I know other groups, I know other sexual minorities get it differently. I understand that too. But I can really only talk about my experience. What it's like being visibly black in a political space, in the gaming space, which is one and the same, in the anime space, is basically this. If you are a black cosplayer, you are constantly berated for the simple act of participating in a fandom or in a community that you were already a part of. If you are a black content creator in the gaming space, unless you were talking about basketball, they want you to limit your blackness, as in don't talk a certain, don't act a certain way, unless that way conforms to my viewpoint of black people. Otherwise, it's too confusing. So I don't like that. I'm not going to argue your points. I'm going to just call you, I'm going to just say you're chimping out. I'm going to just call you a monkey. I'm going to just do this. I'm going to just be racist because it's easy. It's simple. And now the onus is on me. Because if I respond in kind and I start going off, oh, see, you have thin skin. Not the motherfucker who decides to harass someone for days on end because they really think they deserve to speak to them. It's the person. That's why I will never understand the logic of people telling someone how to react to their treatment when their treatment's like being harassed. Like people are talking about Meg Thee Stallion, how she fucked up because she said Clay cheated on her. She, the one being cheated on, should have been quiet. Why? Oh, you shouldn't address these things. Why shouldn't I? Why should I let these people continuously eat off me, continuously harass me, not saying me in particular, like in general, like harass this marginalized community, this marginalized group, this marginalized identity, why should I let them? Why do we have to always have the tougher skin? Why do they get to be so thin skinned? Why is it that someone like Asmongold can harass trans people all live long day, can go after queer communities, can go after like Palestinians and all these groups, but if anyone goes after him, bro, you're obsessed. Bro, you are you're clout chasing. Oh my god, he destroyed you. And it's like, so they can do it, but when the people they're targeting respond in kind or do it better, suddenly it is a, actually, you're not allowed to do this. Actually, you're not allowed to respond. You have to sit there and take it. I think that's fucking stupid. Like, let's go into my favorite punching bag real quick because highlights a great point, right? And by my punching bag, of course, we're talking about Titan. Of course. And this is also kind of dovetailing into the video crimes New Roman did. But if you notice, like creators like this, right, where they have a very clear group of people they target, why is it okay to, even if we want to do the whole, well, they're public figures, right? Whatever, they're newsworthy, etc. But why is it okay for them to consistently talk about Hassan and by extension those surrounding him, those next to him, weekly, daily, hourly? Why is it okay for them to do that? But if anyone were to then talk about them, it's sounding like, oh my God, you guys are so obsessed. Why are you guys such a dick rider for Hassan? Look at this Hassan orbiter. Why are you guys orbiting Valkyrie? Oh, you're such a simp. Why are you protecting this? You're such a simp. You're such a simp. But they can 24/7 just talk about these same three people, and it's fine. It's good. It's okay. And like, you can even see it. Who was it? Was it Sensitive Society or whatever? Yeah. But like, you can. Let's see. Oh, wow, someone not sucking on Avangol dick. That's crazy. But it's like you look at these kinds of pages, right? And it's like, okay, so they very clearly have a thing out for iDubbbz, uh, and Frogan, right? Like iDubbbz and Frogan kind of get it a lot. Frogan gets it a lot because she's a woman, and no, don't listen to what everyone tells you. It's because Frogan's a woman, and she's a woman and she's Muslim. It's a twofer. But notice how they will always do. Look, it's people surrounding by Hassan. It's Cutie Cinderella. It's Denims. It's Hassan himself. Frogan is beyond broke. I need money, please donate. Asmongold is racist. He tried to expose Asmongold. It completely backfired. They get to do this. They get to do this. He's a creep. She just got fucking destroyed and lost everything. And it's like they get to do this all the time. And it's a lot of women, if you notice too. Lot of women. Lot of women they talk about. Like there's some repeats, but it's mostly women that they go over, right? Like it's a lot of women, a lot of Anissa, lots of Frogan. This is Jesus Christ. This is 11 months. You're still talking about Frogan. Frogan. It's iDubbbz. It's Anissa. It's a lot. Naira, Nayara making a guest appearance. Of course, Alyssa McConte. Like it's a lot of women that they focus on. A lot of it being centered around, in general, Pokimane, Valkyrie. But women, they center a lot of the shit on women. They can do that. They can talk about women all the live love day or live long day. But if you talk about them talking about women, here comes the brigade. Here comes the simp people calling you simp. Here comes the shitty content creator defense force. They get to incessantly talk about people. But if you talk about them, bro, you're a small channel. Okay. And they're still talking about marginalized groups. What does my channel size have to do with it? Or it's, oh, but you're black. What does my race have to do with the fact that it's very clear that you are targeting specific people for their identities and their identities only and trying to profit off of it? Like what is it? Like you like most of these content creators like this, like the sensitive societies, however, they're very clearly right wing, and they just go after people on the left, unless someone who just specifically calls them out. They do that shit, and I'm like, you guys, I think honestly are dog shit. I don't care about someone's view count or sub counts. You're dog shit creators because you can only create off of someone else's drama. You have no insight on your own. You have no ability to interest people in what you're talking about unless you're shitting on someone they've already deigned to be an appropriate target. And so being a visible minority of any group always gets this. But being a visible black person, you get it doubly as hard because now you have all these non-black people trying to question your blackness, be like, oh, he's a black dude and he likes this or he does that. Oh man, what a disgrace to black people. Or when they talk about black content creators, there's always an undertone that we can pick up on. But because we pick up on it, people go, you're reading too much into it. He always, makes fun of like people. It's like, no. The way he talks about black people versus like white people doesn't like is completely different. There is no racial undertone there. And it's very, very apparent. And so when people pick up on that, they use that as like, oh, you guys are just looking for a race or anything. You're making everything about race, not me. It's like, but you are. You are. You know the thumbnail you're using, you know the words that you're saying, you know the dog whistles you're trying to use, you know what that's gonna do. You know what's gonna do. But I'm not gonna stop. Yes, there's an undertone. It's not no, it is. There is an undertone to that. Sometimes it's obvious. It's people calling us hoodweebs. It's people using the word thug a lot or any sort of synonym to indicate a lack of education, right? Fatherless, right? Oh, you know who your dad is? You're so articulate. Shit like that. It's that type of shit. People are equating votes to Invincible black people. That you like. Oh, I know. I have a whole ass video on that. The jealousy. I'm reading the chat by the way. The jealousy is real. Hassan had attractive female friend. Meanwhile, they had no friend. Yes, exactly. That's another thing too. It's so obvious these people have no real friends. They have no real friends. Undertone. Most of the child barely even care to use dog whistles nowadays, and YouTube doesn't get away with it. To an point, you're right. To an extent, you're right. But they still very much do that, especially the ones that try to hide it. Right? It's kind of like legendary drops where there's a very clear right-leaning undertone through his videos, and then the way he talks about things. Like last time I talked about him, when he basically let the mask slip and was talking about like pronouns and this, and that. It's like that's the undertone that his videos have always carried. But the veneer is I'm just a gamer dude who just is really sick of how the game direction's going. But I'm not going to tell you what direction I think it's going in per se. I'm going to just line these up in a row. I'm going to talk about games that other people have been calling really woke, and I'm not going to argue against it, but I will leave enough plausible deniability so you can't really tell that I am absolutely. And then he has a video where he's like sucking off Asmongold. Like I'm like it's very apparent, but they try to keep up that veneer of like, no, I I don't think that OnlyFans models or whores deserving of no love and attention. But I'm not going to actively say that. But I will put a bunch of videos up that talk about, oh, I will recommend you guys watch this new WestJet video or watch this new Think Before You Sleep video. It's really informative. I won't tell you how it's informative, but it's informative. Like, come on. That's what got picture count. Yeah, like when you're able to read the bullshit, when you're able to see the bullshit, it's so obvious. It actually makes it harder to enjoy certain things because you're like, ah, man, I really like this content creator, but it turns out they suck. They're using the dog whistles because they know they don't have the dominant culture they want. Exactly. Chibi still dying on the hill for that UK VTuber. I have no idea what that's about. I do not check in on Chibi reviews. That guy is a fucking loser, and I am better off not talking about him. I did see that he's apparently in a group chat where they are trying to get his critics canceled, like removed from Twitter. Has another woman cheated on Chibi yet? You think he's with another woman? Yeah, it depends. For example, Ryan Canal seems to fume just have knowledge about someone's white. If we talk to black people, he really struggles to keep with it. Oh yeah, yeah, but like Ryan Canal, Nerd Erotic. I know someone want me to watch the Nerd Erotic video about The Boys season 5, but I had not been watching The Boys. I'm trying to wait until it is close to being done, so I don't have to wait that long. But if the video is crazy, I will just watch it. Chibi's basically defending a pedo. What a surprise! I have to say, I love some of the ridiculous pushback you received on my automata vid. I mean, my pragmatic video. You can just tell people are trying their best to choose not to. Yeah, that's another thing. I know there are a lot of commenters who go out of the way to pretend they don't understand what I'm saying, which is very basic shit. Like you know what I'm saying, you just don't like it, and you can't counter it. So then you're like, "What are you talking about?" Don't worry, I got you guys. I got you. Some people are saying the boys got too political. That's what I'm talking about. We have truly been inundated by just dumb people, by like legitimately dumb people. So anytime they realize something, it's like years late. Like if you just now think The Boys is being a satire against the current political climate, which is against the alt right, you didn't pick up on that. You didn't pick up on that with Stormfront. Like that was an easy one. You didn't pick up on Stormfront. Like it's been like that since season 1, but really Stormfront was kind of blatant. Even when he fucking uh was talking about like they even took dialogue straight from Trump, killing someone in the middle of like he's like what like in New York and no everyone would cheer, and then that's what Homelander does, and then that guy cheers. It's like, yeah, no, I'm saying I know it was there season 1, but like these people don't pick up on anything unless it's so obvious, which is what the writers had to do every successive season. They had to make it more obvious and more obvious and more obvious so they could finally go, hey, they're making fun of me. And because people like us use our brains, we are often criticized or made fun of because we're looking at things too deeply. It's not that deep. The curtains, you guys, are just blue. And then fucking 4 years later, like, wait a minute. But what I really love is this like notion of them winning the culture wars. Because let's be completely real. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Have they been gaining more ground? Yes. But have they won? Absolutely not. And they know that. Partly because for fascism to exist, they can't win culturally. They they can't win the culture war because then that then makes them irrelevant. So on that aspect, they're not going to win. But look at what's coming out. People are annoyed with them. I was watching a video from edgier than thou, and it was this guy who was responding to who was just the biggest baby, and I would do you guys the honor of not playing it for you, but he was screaming about the fact that like he found something to be like annoying, and he's like, no, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. And I'm like, this is the maybe I will show it to you guys. This is the perfect encapsulation. I lied. I am gonna show you some annoying shit today. Um, I'm just gonna let you watch this part though. I'm not gonna. I'm not setting up anything here. You guys can figure this out. I'm not gonna set up a goddamn thing for this. Other than that, this is edgier than Dow's video.
Example, if I'm considering an economic policy, would that policy be good for?
Okay, you're considering an economic policy. Okay, fine.
Or Bill Gates, or would that policy be good for the average run-of-the-mill Microsoft employee? It's by no means a perfect rule, but it's helpful.
Wrong.
If your goal is to make sure that you aren't being manipulated into harming people or helping
Wrong.
people who want to cause harm.
Wrong.
I bring this up because I want you to consider who
Wrong.
benefits the most from
Wrong.
foolishly pretending the word
Wrong! God damn it! Wrong!
racist no longer holds any meaning. Who would most
When you hold an economic policy, you should ask only one question. Does it help me? If it does, vote for it. If it doesn't, vote against it. Does it help me? Fuck everyone. Fuck the billionaires and fuck everyone else. Does it help me?
Oh, sorry. Did you think that I was going to respond to that?
So I don't know who that man is. I mean, this is edgier than thou. I have no idea. I have no fucking idea who the person he was responding to. But that guy right there, wait, chat saying this is Dave, Lord of Patriarchy. There's no way that's someone's name. There's no way that's someone's name. Oh my fucking god, that's his actual name. His name is Lord of Patriarchy. Oh my god. Oh my, there's, bro, what? No. No. Oh my god, dude. Oh, it feels bad to even show his page. It feels bad. It feels bad to even show his page. I don't want I'm not gonna do it. It feels wrong. It feels wrong to do anything about this guy. So I'm not going to show it. But you saw it. That is, to me, the perfect encapsulation of the kind of rhetoric and audience I am pushing against. Because what? First off, I will say this much. The notion that you're saying economic policy should only be made on the basis of is it good for you, fuck everyone else. If that was the policy, then there would be no good economic policy. Unless you're talking about a policy that benefits everybody. Because if for example, there was a policy in place that people over 6'7" automatically get an additional $30,000, and it's like, oh yeah, that's good for me and people who are taller than me. But if it's coming to a referendum, if someone who's 6'6", they're obviously not going to vote for it. If there's someone who's 6'4", obviously not going to vote for it. Anyone under not going to vote for it, and then above it they are. So then what happens? What happens? Why wouldn't you just put for a policy that's a net positive for everybody? Because everyone benefits. I don't care if a billionaire benefits from something if the lowest person also benefits from it. It's such a weird mentality to be. It's again, we were talking about the last stream, if you remember. It's a red button mentality. And that's why he's screaming in the void. Wrong, wrong, you're wrong, that's wrong. They oh man, I fucking love the fact that he says empathy is a lie. I love when people do that. I love when people do that because you just know they are the loneliest person to exist. When people try to tell you that empathy is wrong or it's bad or it's suicidal empathy, they are the loneliest individual you could possibly imagine. Which is why these losers love the likes of Asmongold. That motherfucker is lonely. He's lonely. He has no one. And I think he likes it that way. But a lot of these losers look at him and they go, I can aspire to be that person because he's in a similar situation to me. And what I keep telling these people is you do not want to be him. The reason why, someone mentioned earlier in chat, I think it was Mistra, a lot of these guys hate people like Hassan because they can see Hassan is surrounded by people who like him and he's loved. And he also has wealth and he has things they don't have. That's why they hate him. That's why they don't like him. That's why they always go after him. They support people like Tectone and Asmon and like Grums or whatever because these guys are losers. Like them, but they have financial success. Some of them, at least, have financial success. So they think that's more attainable and more, it's more in line with their reality. So it's more real. Like being a selfish dickhead is something they promote because that's who they are, but they can't imagine a world where they can attain true happiness and still have a level of financial success. So they hate people like Hassan because he's the antithesis of that. They hate people like, fuck it, iDubbbz. I'm not a big iDubbbz supporter. I still think he has a lot of work to do to make up for the immense amount of harm he's done. But he's made progress. He is also in a relationship, right? He's married. He is seemingly happy. They can't have that though, because the people that they watch aren't happy people. They are actively miserable, even if they have relationships. Tectone's fucking miserable. Yeah, I got a fiance. And you're still talking about your ex, Pinky Chew, which you shouldn't be because that violates the restraining order. But misery. They're miserable people. And their audience is miserable. You can be miserable in a group that is basically their entire shared audience. It's misery. Like no one who does content like I showed you, like a Sense of Society, no one who does like all that grifter shit, none of those people are happy. A happy, well-adjusted person doesn't do that. And by extension, their audiences aren't happy, well-adjusted people. Me and Crimes New Roman, have been dealing with this same loser who I showed you earlier, who's obsessed. That is not an indication of someone being happy. That's a miserable person who needs to spread misery. That is what these grifters are. They are miserable people who have to spread misery. It's like a biological imperative for them. If they cannot tell people in a multitude of ways how miserable they are, they will implode. They will implode. Like our good friend, let's see. I feel like I haven't like drug dealers. I mean, yeah. Like one of our most miserable peoples, my goat, my incel goat, Synthetic Man. Does this look like the output of someone who's happy, who's experienced joy? Remember what I said last time when if I told you if they can put a minority on the cover of a thumbnail, they will do that. This is a random NPC. Oh, but he's black. Let's put him in the thumbnail. It's Starfield. It's about Starfield. So let's put a black person there. If applicable, they will do so. If applicable, they will do so. If applicable, they will do so. That's something I've always noticed, and now that I've said it, I have not been proven wrong. If they can, Synthetic Man straight up dropping Nazi dog whistles. There's no Nazi dog whistles with him. He will straight up do Nazism. Straight up. Like it's the same. It's trust me. There's no dog whistle, but like they all do. They all do this. They all do this. What about this guy? What's the ranged? What's the ranged doomer up to? He played the worst game of 2026, Industria 2. Okay. Oh, you know what? You know who we're gonna do today? Even though I said I wouldn't do it, just because it's funny. Wagner knows why. I love. Sometimes it's funny to see the lengths of black content creators, what they will do in order to like be relevant. I should react to real fake wizards. Someone's mentioned that name before. I don't know who real that person is. Oh. Reject PlayStation one time. Check. Cancel your PlayStation subscription. Film critics are out of touch. Sellouts. I don't have. I don't really. Yeah, I don't really see what's the cancel Disney Plus. Okay, that's a. Yeah, this doesn't seem like there's anything good here, to be honest. But this is a gold mine. This is a gold mine, though. He hangs out with other grifters. Oh, okay. So I might go back to that. But look at this. It's so gold. It's so golden. What were we talking about last stream about thumbnails? Notice how anytime you talk about anything, he uses Jordan. That's her name, by the way. The character, not the actress. And the thumbnails. Worst era in gaming. This hasn't even come out yet. Next game to hate is Dawn Walker's the next Crimson Desert. No. 007 Light 007 Force Light exposes modern gaming's war on male characters. It's so like he did an AI version of himself. That's lazy. They don't need gamers. The gaming industry doesn't need gamers anymore. The Espelian experiment. And that is an AI version of Bella Ramsey on the ex Voto character. That is once again Jordan Gabriel. That's a good Jordan played by Tati Gabriel as Michael Jackson. What does that have to do with anything? You don't know this guy? Oh, we'll do the Sorrowos one.
Criminal, gay, Indian.
Because this is a man whose entire output is, please, white supremacy, notice me. Notice me, white supremacy senpai. Please, please, please. I will keep tap dancing as loud as I can. You can call me Maxwell. Please, please, please notice me. That is his output. That's his content. That's his content.
Criminal, gay, Indian, cuck. That's an amalgamation of words that come together to describe this game that I would have never seen as one of the worst properties to be released this year. Of course, I'm talking about Sorrowos, a game from the developer of Returnal called Housemarque. They've created something so obscene, so absurd in the gaming industry that people are just shocked about hearing the story and the overall experience of what Sorrowos is meant to be for the gamer. And it includes all the words I mentioned before, which kind of sounds crazy to the gamer, but that's the world we're living in right now.
I like how he says crazy to the gamer. Like this is some sort of nature documentary. And it's like, this sounds insane to the gamer. To the gamer, this kind of word is shocking and terrifying. For the epic gamer, this is quite the conundrum indeed.
Now, as gamers, where the absurd has become normal and seeing terrible games that have no understanding of what the gamer player wants and needs are is
Gamer
commonplace nowadays. And I think Sorrowos comes together and becomes the quintessential game that represents the modern age of gaming. Where
Now, here's the thing. I can promise you he has not played Sorrows. I can almost guarantee that because he said he never heard of this game earlier on, right?
they've created something so obscene, so absurd in
Right
the
here?
gaming industry that people are just shocked. The words that come together to describe this game that I would have never seen as one of the worst properties to be released this year. We're come up with this story.
One of the worst properties to be released this year in the same year that Code fucking Violet came out. Do you see where we're starting with this?
The gamers would actually love to play this game. If you don't know what I'm talking about Sorrowos. It's a game that recently was released by Housemarque, the developer of Returnal. It's a game that's kind of focused in the same concepts of a looping time frame where you're trying to discover some hidden secrets in the world. You have to accomplish a task, and you have a highly action-packed gameplay style that a lot of gamers did enjoy in the original Returnal game. Me, I didn't really like it too much. Returnal, I'm not a big fan of that game. I didn't care for the characters themselves, and I think this is the problem I have with this.
The characters. There is one person in Returnal. There's one person in Returnal.
Game as well, along with the color palette of Sorrowos, where I still don't like orange color palettes. It's not my thing, but I thought this game, hey,
Okay, I'm sorry. Sure, you can have a particular, I guess, visual style you like. There's no fucking way. There is no fucking way he's gonna be like, I don't like this game because of its the orange color palette. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't even critique this game because you haven't played it. I didn't like it because it has an orange color palette. What?
looks like it's action-packed. I perceived that a lot of gamers would enjoy this, but I thought that for only a minute until I heard the story of this game. Once you hear the story of this game, you're kind of scratching your head and thinking, who is developing games nowadays? Because this story is something so absurd, so out of left field, it makes you think, okay, the developers of this game probably have an absolute disdain for the gamers.
Here we go. It's always like disdain for. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something. This is a spoiler for the story of Sorrow. So basically, it's a guy who was not a good husband, and his wife like went missing. So he came to his planet to find her. That's the main thrust of the story. And the spoiler here is his wife was a lesbian, according to the fake spoiler I talked about in my last video. That's what he's talking about. But now that you know what he's talking about, look how they talk about it. It's insane. They don't understand gamers. They're targeting gamers. How dare they put out a story that has to do with the man looking for his missing wife and realize that it's too late because he was a shitty husband. Gamers can't handle that.
Or have a message that they want to implant to the actual audience that they're trying to get to purchase their game, because that's what you see with Sorrowos and the controversy of the gamers talking about this, where they're saying, who would play a game like this where you play the most profane, absurd, and the most dislikable character possible in a character named
the most profane, the most absurd, the most dislikable character? Like, he's so bad at this. I forgot why I promised I wouldn't cover him anymore. He's so unbelievably bad at this. Like he's reading off of a list of shit to say, because like he's vamping. Just keep account how many times he says like absurd, for example.
Arjun, if you don't know the story about Sorrowos, let me give you the details before I go over the controversial parts. Sorrowos is a game focused on a corporation called Soltari Corporation. It discovers a unique mineral on a planet, and you're sent there to discover it and build manufacturing processes to mine the colony. You're Arjun. You wake up with no memory of what happened during a mishap that happened at the mining factory, and you're trying to search the details of what happened, what sabotaged their ship, what's destroying their only path out of this planet. And that's where Arjun comes into play. You play as this character trying to understand what's happening with the crew.
Like he's just repeating himself. Oh my god. Oh my god. He's like, God, I thought I was bad at like describing shit in videos. He's just repeating himself over and over. We're gonna skip this part. He's just
To fight
repeating
your
himself.
way out, you have to fight an evil species of something, and you do the basic combat stuff you have with these sort of action sci-fi games. But a lot
The sort of combat you have with these sort of action sci-fi games. This is like the only game that does this besides Returnal. Be specific, bro.
of gamers expected that experience with this game, but when you play the game, it has all the typical things you see in the modern day focus of what narration has to be about. It has to be about the modern tropes that you see in society.
What
It
is
has
the
to be
modern
about
trope?
DEI. We see that in the character portrayals. We see this in the choice of the cast, the looks of the cast. We have
What?
old aunties everywhere. We have a diverse cast of characters.
Old aunties everywhere. One old person. Oh my god, you have a diverse cast of characters. Oh my god. Arjun has his memory, doesn't he? Not according to our smart boy Wagner here.
We have every palette in the rainbow, which is no problem with that. Okay, that's fine to do that, but even the story elements reflect that as well as you look into what's the deep recesses of the narration here, where it becomes more about misogyny and LGBTQ elements rather.
First off, that's not narration. It's narrative, you fucking moron. I'm not gonna be nice to him. Wagner No Wise is a goddamn coon. Yeah, I said it. It can't even articulate. It's not narration. It's narrative. You're talking about the narrative.
rather than the space sci-fi horror that we were looking forward to. And I think that's the thing gamers are complaining about when they
Gamers aren't complaining about that. People weren't looking for sci-fi horror in Returnal or Sorrowos because they know Housemarque doesn't do that. It's not about cosmic horror. Like, what are you talking about? Not a single person was going to, I can't wait to play this cosmic horror game. It's Housemarque.
once they finally do complete this game, they end up with something that is completely absurd and outrageous to even think about as a storyline for a sci-fi drama. And I think that's the thing people are coming to conclusions with if you actually pay attention to the end game story.
Oh my
of
god,
this. You
dude!
pay
Okay. So this is what he does. He drags out a 4-5 minute point to 10 minutes because I think he's still operating on old school YouTube terms where 10 minutes was the minimum you had to have in order to like, get a monetization for it. Because this could have been from the jump. This is fake. We know this. We know this is fake. This is not real. So I'm gonna just this is not
the
real.
Story. Sony's new exclusive comes down to this. When it comes to the game, the end game story is just ridiculous. The main concept of the story, why you wake up with no memory, is because basically you erased your memory. Because Arjun, the main protagonist, he's cheating on his wife in the story, and one of his friends finds out, and he has to kill his friend so he can silence him from.
Okay, that's a fucking spoiler. That's no spoiler warning for that. Whatever. I'm gonna just go here. Sorry, didn't know that.
The exclusive, and it's coming down to what gamers are getting tired of with Sony, where Sony keeps making the same game over and over and over again. And I think that's what we see with Sorrowos, where it hits all the marks, where we have the
Well, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know he was gonna fucking just spoil the game like that.
angry, misogynistic, douchebag, loser male who's weak and annoying. We have all these old auntie characteristics. Of course,
Old auntie characteristics. Jesus Christ,
we have
man.
the DEI palette of colors, and then we
DEI palette. You notice how he's repeating everything he's already said.
have the main character's wife ending up with a black lesbian. It's like, what do we have to do to avoid this kind of monotonous
sorry.
concept that seems to be
This is
unable?
this is, I'm gonna move from this part because, like, Wagner, dog, you are black. I know you wish you weren't. You are black. You are advocating for people who look like you to be seen less in games. Dog, what are you doing? What are you doing? The spoiler's not true. Good. But I don't want to risk it. But what are you doing? What are you fucking doing, man? Like, what are you doing? Did I miss something when I boot up Stars and play the beginning? I don't remember Arjun's character being memory wiped. He didn't play the fucking game. He doesn't play any of the games he talks about.
Has to end up with a black lesbian somewhere. I think that's the thing gamers are just kind of scoffing at.
And I'm sorry, what? Let's say it was true. For the sake of argument, let's say the very not true spoiler going around, which I talked about in my last video, is not true. Why does that matter? Like, they make it seem like this is the outcome for so many games. How many games have you guys played where a character gets mind wiped because they were cheating on their spouse and their friend found out and they killed him? Again, this is not what happened, but they killed him, and then your wife ends up leaving you for a black lesbian. How many games end this way? How many games have you played where you can be like, this keeps happening? Oh, it's the same Sony formula of what? Of what? This hasn't happened. In fact, in most recent Sony first-party games, I can only really think of one game that starred a canonical lesbian, and that was The Last of Us 2. There was an option in the DLC for Horizon Zero Dawn that you could potentially make out with a woman if you chose to do so. You know, if you make that choice. But I cannot for the life of me think of a game in which you are looking for your spouse and they left you for a woman. Oh, and they're black and lesbian. I can't think of that.
Where it's just, this is just boring now. You don't know how to do anything else. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing with this game. It's getting boring for the gamers to see this continuously happening over and over again. I think when I saw
let's see what his sources
overall
are.
Concept, I'm like, no, Sony couldn't do this. Sony can't do this again. They just did it 3 times already. We already saw this type of ending with multiple stories that they actually produced just this past year. We saw
Which story? Which story? Because this was the jump. I used this same picture in my last video. I knew it was too predictable. So let's go through this. Lesbians and samurais, they're not lesbians. They're not lesbians. They are lesbians. This is an optional DLC that you can also not engage in. This is canonical. You have no choice. This never happened. Abby's not a lesbian. They don't know the sexual orientation for this character. This is fucking Mary Jane, who's clearly with Spider-Man, and this is, again, Atsu.
We saw with The Last of Us way beyond that. We kind of saw it with Uncharted. We see this.
We kind of saw it with Uncharted. Chloe Fraser is a lesbian? I'm sorry, was I playing a different Uncharted game when she wasn't into Nathan Drake? Did I get a different copy? Did I get the unwoke copy of the Uncharted collection when I bought it for my PS4? Damn, I gotta call Naughty Dog. I gotta call Naughty Dog and let them know I need a refund. I didn't get the woke version of Uncharted. I got the dumb unwoke version with Chloe Fraser is into Nathan Drake. Damn. The only game, again, which has canonical lesbians is The Last of Us 2. And if you want to boil it down to, oh my God, there's so many lesbians in all these games, you are fighting ghosts that you have created, man.
Incessantly with PlayStation, it seems like they don't know how to make anything else nowadays. This is the only narrative architecture that Sony has. It only knows how to make games like this. I think gamers are kind of getting tired of it. We are
He's
tired
just repeating
of it.
himself.
I think that's what we expect to see with
Oh, the Sony Woke Station. Oh, Sony Woke Station. You have This is supposed to be Jean Grey from the Wolverine game. This is Freya from God of War. This game again hasn't come out yet. Like you're so pussy, bro. You're so pussy. These people are such bitch. They're so bitch made that they can't handle a game. They cannot handle a game that has a woman in it. They just can't. They are just physically incapable of handling games that have women in it. We're not going to finish this video because to highlight this point, look at his other video. Women ruined gaming. The worst era in gaming. They don't need gamers. No twerking for gamers? What the fuck are you talking about? Sony sold out the gamers for Sweet Baby Inc. activism according to PlayStation. Like, this is such a dog shit channel. That's why it's, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. You guys can make your own assessments. But we're in gaming. Like, he keeps focusing on just women. Ubisoft's woke trap, black flag recent concerns, recent flops in Assassin's Creed. Women ruin gaming. Let's look at his genius take.
Women have
I'm sure he won't just be looping a trailer while he has himself on the corner. I'm sure he won't be doing that. I'm sure he's going to put more time.
ruined James Bond. I know it sounds absurd since
And
we're
effort.
talking about the quintessential ladies' man,
Okay, he keeps using quintessential. Maybe he did just learn what that word meant.
but that's what we're seeing with this new 007 game coming from IO Interactive. It's looking like James Bond and the 10
He's using AI.
boss ladies. That's what gamers are saying is happening with this new 007 First Light game, because it's that time of the year in the gaming industry where we have a new game and a new list of articles overpraising that game as the biggest game of the year. And that's what we're seeing happening now with 007 First Light, which just had its first line of articles previewing this title, saying, hey, this is the next big upcoming game that you need to be excited for. And I have no problem with that. Articles hyping out a
clearly
game that
you do,
is
though.
up and coming. They don't have the full review.
Here, his fucking first topics are always so boring. Like he breaks these up into like segments, but they're the same shit. Watch.
Yeah,
Just watch.
but I have my questions about this game, because this game, 007 First Light, is following a long line and list of titles that are all doing the same thing with strong, traditionally male characters that we see in the entertainment space, where we have this 007 James Bond, a strong male character historically.
Has he heard of marketing? No.
Is now going to be put in the position where he's going to be in the modern day age of entertainment, where you can't be that particular strong, suave character anymore. And I know people
Says who?
gonna say, hey, in this preview, it looks like he is that character. He looks like he's talking
Says
his way
who?
through things. He's beating up people. And yeah, that is the case for the most part from what we see from the preview. But we see this with almost every entertainment property that has come out these past few years, like Marvel, like Daredevil, like Star Trek.
Like Daredevil? Daredevil? Who violently beats ass in almost every episode he's in? He's not their definition of masculine anymore. So what is it? What is their version of masculinity now?
Like all these other properties that have showcased these strong male characters in the past, but there's always a catch with it. And I think this is the thing we're going to see with 007 First Light, where, yeah, James Bond looks like a strong character, but he's probably going to be bossed around by 10 boss lady characters.
See, this is the shit I hate, bro. And don't worry, we're not watching this whole video like to analysis. We know that he sucks. Wagner is bad at this. He's terrible. What these losers, and Wagner, I hope you see this because you are in fact a loser I'm talking about. Also, fire your barber. But these losers, what they don't understand is when they hear strong character, they think this. They think character capable of beating someone else. That is not a strong character. That is a physical character. That could be a violent character. And yes, I was going to say, James Bond has historically had women telling him what to do. His boss was James Judi Dench. Okay? Moneypenny's his assistant. There's Bond girls. There's Bond femme fatales. There've always been a lot of women in the Bond series. That's always how it works. They tell him to do something, and he goes, of course. And then he's James Bond, and he fucks it up. But it's cool because he's James Bond, and they will always give him infinite rope because he's James Bond. That's the whole thing. That's always been what Bond does. But these people, they have such a juvenile understanding of a strong character. If we go back, he says, yeah, he beats people up, he's this and this and that. That's what he thinks a strong character is.
His way through things, he's beating up people, and yeah, that is the case for the most.
He's beating up people. These people can only recognize strength if it's physical. That's it. When we talk about a strong character, we're talking about a character that's memorable, a character that can hold their own against other personalities. We're talking about them from a personality standpoint, right? Because there are weak characters. There are characters who are weak because they're one note. All they do is punch things. That's it. That's a weak character. But to these guys, because you have big muscles, oh, you're a strong character. Because yes, you're able to commit violence. You're an awesome character. You can beat people up. Beating someone up is not a sign of strength, especially that's your first resort. That is a sign of weakness. If your first response to something is immediate violent, then your favorite character is going to be some unga bunga caveman. That's it. They don't want any character depth or nuance or growth. They want, this is clearly a game about James Bond getting his feet wet, right? Becoming a 007, which means he might make mistakes. And they're going to be like, see, you can't have a strong, powerful male, white male character anymore. They have to emasculate him. And then the best part is he makes assumptions. He goes, he's probably going to have 10 girl bosses. What does girl boss mean in this context, Wagner? What does that mean? Is it because you can have 10 women who might have strong personalities, who might stand out, who might challenge him? Is that wrong?
Most part, from what we see, he's like a strong character, but he's probably going to be bossed around by 10 boss lady characters that know better than him, that are equally or smarter than him, that diminish his own position and power position as a male.
God forbid a woman might be smarter than a man. Oh my God, my male ego can't handle it, but I'm strong. I can bench press 350. I'm strong. But if a woman tells me she can do something,
strong character that you see in any entertainment property. And I think this is what we've been seeing all across entertainment, Hollywood, and books, TV, movies. This has been the strategy of dealing with these particular strong male characters that we see in entertainment, where yes, we're going to make this character still strong, but he's going to be a secondary character even in his own story and decision-making process. And I think this is what we see.
What the fuck does that mean? He's going to be a secondary character in their own decision-making process? By the way, you know what series did this very well that he's trying to shit on? Mad Max. Mad Max Fury Road is one of the best films. And the focal of the character isn't Mad Max. It is Furiosa. Because Furiosa is the character. Max is simply the vehicle in which we experience her. And Max, being secure in his masculinity, doesn't get mad when she shows that she's a better shot than him. He actually is like, good, I'll focus on driving. I will use my shoulder for you to stabilize so you can shoot. Because you know what's important? Us surviving. You know what makes James Bond a very strong character is the fact that he's not threatened by women who can challenge him. Hell, he loves it. That's someone who's secure about themselves. But if you're insecure, then you act like Wagner, where the very notion of the potential of a woman being smarter than you is enough to make your brain break.
A lot of properties that have been coming out these past few years, and I think 007 First Light is going to be another long line of examples of that happening.
Already said that, dude.
We even play as James Bond 100% through this. We're definitely going to play as some female character that's smarter and more intelligent than him. We already saw previews of different characters that are in this game, but I think this.
First off, who is she? She is gorgeous. Secondly, do you people not understand like game design, like breaking up a rhythm of a game? Like, is it so beyond them? Like, first off, I don't know why you would be playing as someone else because this is ostensibly James Bond, his first time. But let's say you are. Let's say you get a mission like how Spider-Man, where they had the missions with Mary Jane and Miles in the first game, right? That is to break up the pacing. And that does two things. it gives you a different look at the same environment from someone else's perspective, and it gives you access to a different kit. Do I love Spider-Man? Yes, he's my favorite fucking character, okay? I love that I can fucking swing around and climb up walls and punch things. But you know what's also good for a frame of reference? To see how this same world that you're swinging through, not giving a care in the world, being able to stop anything, to see how that looks from the eyes of a normal person. Because then it gives a better sense of perspective when you go back to Spider-Man, right? When you can't just zip to the wall and whip these guys up, where you have to be stealthy. And I'm not a fan of forced stealth sections, don't get me wrong, but it's to break up the gameplay. It's no different than when they add fishing as a side quest. Would you be mad if they're like, I just want to punch people and beat them up? Why are they making me fish? Like they're breaking up the gameplay, so it just become monotonous. That's how they do that. And again, if you can't handle playing as a woman, stop playing video games. I'm being so serious right now. This is how you can tell I'm being serious, okay? If you can only play video games when you're playing as a male character, you need to stop playing video games, big dog. Video games are not for you. If you can only play a digital avatar that is male, you should not play video games. That is not the medium for you. Okay? Go watch UFC. Just watch UFC. It's men's only UFC. Just do that. Don't watch WNBA. Watch NBA only. Watch NFL. Do all that stuff. I'm watching NBA basketball. Lakers play tomorrow. Depending on when I release this, you can't handle video games. They're not for you. I'm sorry. Why is that the case? White male defaultism? Because it's generic. It is. A white male is inoffensive. It's nothing. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's nothing. It doesn't get in the way, right? It doesn't get in the way. You don't get to. No one's distracted by James Bond being a white guy here, or her being a white woman. But if he was black, they'd be like, wait a minute. If he was Asian, wait a minute. That's why. That's why default characters are usually just white dudes with plain features. They're John Does because they don't get in the way.
This is the thing, gamers are hesitant with any new property coming out in the entertainment industry, particular gaming, where, yes, this looks like an action.
Gamers are more hesitant to engage in entertainment property like movies, especially gaming. What?
Action-packed game that I would love to play. And I think that's what a lot of people are feeling about the 007 franchise whenever we hear about it, especially when it's coming from the IO Interactive development staff that made Hitman. So I was...
Hitman? You mean the series where your boss is a woman who tells you what to do? That series? Too many people think video games is escapism from reality, which it isn't. I have said that so many times. Your escapism is not universal. If you have to escape to play video games where only men exist and women are subservient, you're a punk bitch who can't handle anything. If your escapism is why are there minorities in my video games and my fantasies, because in your fantasies like a white ethno state, you're a racist punk bitch. You can't handle queer people in the fantasy games, then don't play that game.
Excited when I first heard about this game, but of course I have to realize I'm in the modern day era of gaming where no game is what it seems. Every game has an ulterior motive. Every game is trying to be subversive
An
to
ulterior
the gamer
motive.
and audience, and I think that's what people are suspecting.
How do you live like this? How do you go through your life like this, where every piece of media is a constant attack on your worldview, where every piece of media is trying to indoctrinate you to the woke left? Like, legitimately, how do you live like this? How do you live like this?
This version of 007, we're expecting subversion. I think that's the thing people are realizing with a lot of the properties that are coming out right now. If you don't know about this game in particular, 007 First Light, is the origin story. It has Patrick Gibson portraying the character, playing young James Bond, fresh off a heroic act, joining MI6's double old.
It's so obvious he's just reading off the ad copy, and he tries to make it seem like, let me just give you a quick synopsis, and then he's just going to the Steam page and like
Program. It's not adapting a specific Fleming novel or movie. It's original, set early in his career before he becomes the legend. From trailers and cast reveals, Bond is resourceful, female-oriented. And I think this is what we see with a lot. And he gets it. And a lot of the guidance is going to be female-oriented. And I think this is what we see with a lot of the properties
why does that matter?
Gaming industry today, where that's the overall premise of a lot of games nowadays. A lot of entertainment properties where you have these strong male characters where they're still allowed to exist. They need to take orders from at least 10 boss ladies that are more smarter and intellectual than them.
Again, you've defeated your own purpose. You're saying these guys are still allowed to exist, but they take orders from women. Who are you playing as? Does it really affect your gameplay that in their ear, the person who goes like, "Careful, M, there's enemies here," is a woman's voice? Like, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about you don't like the fact that James Bond's going to have a woman telling him what to do, but you're playing the game. This is to me just as insane if someone was like, "Oh my God, the person in your ear is a black person. I can't play this game because it's a black person telling me that you need to be careful for enemies. Oh my God, why are they forcing DEI everywhere?" Like, these are such non-complaints.
I think people are going to say, hey, we see this in the old James Bond movies. We see M, we see all these characters that were still in particular female.
And he's going to say, so he's bad. He's so bad at this. Because what he's trying to steel man the position, right? The opposition's idea by saying, and of course, you guys are going to tell me that historically, James Bond's always been surrounded by women like Moneypenny and M and etc. and the Bond girls. And his butt is going to be like, but the modern audience, they're going to find a way to make him look weak or some shit.
Characters, but they did allow James Bond to be James Bond. But I think we're in a different era where that is not allowable, where James Bond shouldn't be allowed to be James Bond. I think we're done with seeing James Bond sleep with multiple women. We're done with that era of James Bond. He's always going to be in love with some random woman that he sees as the ultimate goal. We saw this with the previous James Bond franchise. We see this probably continuing with every single game where they're going to change this James Bond character. He's not allowed to be the same person anymore. He's allowed to beat up people. He's allowed to do this, but it has to be at the directive of some multicultural modern day Britain staff.
It's not fun being right about these people. And I let it go for a bit. A, to bask in my correctness, but B, because if you paid attention, he completely contradicts himself no less than 4 times. He says, okay, let's just go back. Let's run it back from here.
And we see all these characters that were still in particular female characters, but they did allow James Bond to be James Bond. But I think we're in a different era where that is not allowable, where James Bond shouldn't be allowed to be.
So he goes from saying, well, they do allow him to do that, but now I don't think they will. And then from that point, he says he shouldn't be allowed. And then from that point, he says,
Bond. I think we're done with seeing James Bond sleep with multiple women. We're done with that era of James Bond. He's always going to be in love with some random woman.
Complete fiction, right? Complete fiction. Where's the evidence of any of this? In any of this shit, where is that evidence? He just went from talking about things that are based in historical realities, right? To I don't think, to they won't, and to now I'm mad that they're not going to do that.
That he sees as the ultimate goal. We saw this with the previous James Bond franchise. We see this probably continuing with every single game.
We see this probably continuing. That's not how that works, right? It's either it's going to continue or it might. You can't say we see this probably continuing.
Where they're going to change this James Bond character. He's not allowed to be the same person anymore.
And now he's not allowed to be the same person anymore, but he's allowed to beat people up. But the staff is multicultural, and the staff being multicultural somehow changes James Bond. having by the way, this is modern day Britain. Yeah, dude. There's Indians in Britain. There's black people in Britain. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. But yes, because of this, now he can't be James Bond. He can only be James Bond as everyone's white.
Allowed to beat up people. He's allowed to do this, but it has to be at the directive of some multicultural modern day Britain staff that has ideological superiority and no.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Where did the ideological superiority come into play? Where are you getting this from?
It all than James Bond. And I think that's the thing that gamers are just not really interested in. And I think this is what we see with a lot of properties that came out in the past. And I think that's what people see when they hear about First Light. When they look at this picture, I'm like, this is in the same trend that I've been seeing these past few years.
This is the fucking Bond thing. A female M. In fact, the recent change they made is they killed James Judi Dench, and then you had Ralph Fiennes take over. But that's not been the norm. His Moneypenny being a woman is not something different. And then here's like the bad guy. What the cool bad guy with the weird prosthetic. This is quintessential. See, I did. This is the quintessential James Bond. Like, what are you talking about?
That's what I see when I watch Daredevil. Daredevil is supposed to be about Daredevil, but Daredevil is usually just walking behind a strong female character half the time. Same thing with Kingpin.
Okay, so he doesn't watch Daredevil. And I can tell because this is neurotic right here. He doesn't watch any of the shit that he talks about. He's walking behind her. This is just a shot. This is just a simple frame. This is not indicative of their, like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, if these media illiterate morons had their way, you know how the games would go? You know how all TV shows would go? Daredevil would have no supporting cast. It would just be Daredevil punching Wilson Fisk, and Wilson Fisk would not have Vanessa. They would just be these two cardboard cutouts. And they want you to play that for 40 hours. They want you to watch that shit for 8 hours of 8 to 10 hours of content. They want you to play games with James Bond where it's just James Bond, and that's it. MI6 is empty. There are no women. He just has guns all the time, and you just go through levels, blow people away. That's it. They want nothing. They want no character at all. Just a digital avatar.
Even Kingpin is not allowed to be the bad guy. He has to walk behind 3 strong women around him. I think
Kingpin's not allowed to be the bad guy? Hey, real quick, who's the current mayor of New York in the MCU? Oh, Wilson Fisk? Interesting. Who is the running all the crime in Wilson Fisk? Who's the Kingpin, who's always been the Kingpin? Vanessa did manage things that he was away, but he came back and assumed power. Behind 3 women. What 3? Name them. Daredevil fan, name them. I'll give you one. Vanessa Fisk. Well, technically it's not Fisk, but tell me the 2 women. Tell me the other 2 women who Kingpin's up walking behind now.
This is a thing we keep seeing in entertainment. We see this in the old James Bond movie where he has to be surrounded by strong women that know everything above him, where he can't be an independent person that does things on his own.
Because he's part of a fucking spy group, dude. What are you talking about? He's never done shit on his own. He's had a Q all the time. He's had a Moneypenny. He's never been by himself. That's what, again, this just betrays your lack of knowledge, dude. Like, you do not know the media that you are trying to analyze, and it's so painfully obvious.
Yes, to have the boss lady character surrounding him. I think this started probably around the Black Panther series when that movie came out, where literally Black Panther was surrounded by 10 strong women and there was nothing else, no other male characters besides him. And I think that's the thing.
Yeah, no other male characters in the Black Panther movie. I hallucinated M'Baku, who had a central pivotal role in the movie of saving his fucking life. I imagined Everett Ross. I imagined the goddamn villains in this movie. I imagined Claw. I imagined Killmonger. All fictional beings I just created in my head. M'Baku. Just not there. Didn't exist. His people didn't rescue him from the river when he got stabbed by, Killmonger, because Killmonger also didn't exist. And it was just him.
See now with the kind of the strategy of trying to get these subversive ideas and images into the audience's mind, because no matter what, the audience still wants to see a strong male figure, and that is something that cannot be denied. And it seems like a lot of the people that are
How long is this video?
nowadays
There's 6 more
realize
minutes. There's no way there's 6 more minutes of this. There's no way there's 6 more minutes of this. Miss M, not good at 7, time of the month. Make me a soy latte, gay, not shaken. This is, I'm sorry, I have to comment. You gotta fucking joking, man. This is dog shit analysis. You literally don't even know what you're talking about. Your Black Panther example is asinine because literally M'Baku is a pivotal character in both films to the point where he literally saves T'Challa's life. And wasn't he also responsible for saving the heart-shaped herb? Like it's so fucking brought his troops at the end to help defend Wakanda. Like, what are you actually talking about? Didn't M'Baku also save the heart-shaped herb? Because they saved that, and no, that wasn't that. That wasn't him. That wasn't him. Sorry, that was Nakia. But he did save him, and then he did join at the end to help fight Jabari tribe. Fucking like, goddamn, dude, just like doesn't know what he's talking about.
So instead of just removing the strong male figure, which they do sometimes, we see this with some properties like Spider-Man 2. Peter Parker was basically removed from the entire game almost.
Okay, this is what you call a LARPer. This is what you call a LARPer. This is a LARPer. Oh, here's a raccoon for sure. We said that. He's a LARPer. This is a tourist. This is a LARPer. This is the perfect example. This is the perfect example. Removed from the whole game? Did we play a different Spider-Man 2? Did I once again get the unwoke version where he's in the majority of the game and he has, the symbiote suit, and then it goes away and he goes, becomes, I don't want to go spoil it, but then Venom comes, and then, like, no, that's not the game. I played a different game then, I guess. I keep getting the woke versions of things, or the unwoke versions, I should say.
You're playing multiple different characters. You're playing Mary Jane, who's apparently more strong than him in the game.
He says apparently more strong, which is not good grammar, because he didn't play the game. He didn't play. He's looking at a meme. I keep playing the wrong game. I don't know, man. But he's looking at a meme and going like, apparently this is real, and therefore he's not that strong. But MJ is. MJ, walk him down, Mary, walk him down Watson, gets like a couple of missions, and that's it. That's it. Like, you're playing as multiple people. Multiple people. 3? 2 outside of Spider-Man? Technically, you're playing as Venom, but like, what?
And I think that's the thing we see with a lot of properties. They tried to do that, but they didn't reach the
Also,
success
he's
that
doing this to stretch out his thing about James Bond because he has nothing else to say about it, really.
they actually wanted to get. And I think that's the thing we're seeing now with where James Bond is going to be allowed to be the James Bond that we like, at least action pack wise. He's going to be the suave character.
So now he's going back to saying that he's going to be James Bond, but he's not going to be James Bond because a white woman's not telling him what to do, but a black woman's telling him what to do or something like that.
Within limits, but he's going to be within modern day limits. He's going to be within a limit where he can't be charming every single woman alive. He can't be sleeping with them. He can't be
charming every single woman alive. Dog, have you ever watched a James Bond movie? I'm being so for real. On average, James Bond charms like 2 women a film. It's the usually irrelevant or the plot point woman, and then it's the Bond girl. That's it. That is it. He acts like James Bond is sleeping with like, what, you want the game to be a dating simulator? You want this to be fucking Leisure Suit Larry? Like, what do you want this game to be, dude?
careless and without love for any of the characters. He has to be desperate to save every single boss lady that's around him. He has to listen to all the boss ladies around him. He has to be subservient to all the boss ladies around him.
Dude, it's called doing your job. Like, what is this? They always frame this shit as subservient. You guys, I had to be subservient today because my boss told me to clock in. I have to save all my girl bosses. What's the data on that? I don't know. I think I have to do that.
I think that's the thing we see with Daredevil as well, where he's subservient to every boss lady around him, Kingpin as well. And it's just something
What
I find
boss
annoying
lady?
where it feels like the entertainment is all the same. It's scripted the same. It's fine to be scripted, it's entertainment, but when everything is scripted the same way, where everything is characterized in the same way, you already know it's a messaging tool almost at that point. And I think that's why I feel from this James Bond game, even though I think it looks fun, it looks entertaining. I like all the things you can do with this game. I like that you can bluff your way into places. It seems like it was created by real developers that like James Bond. And I think that's the problem with modern day entertainment. You have real developers making an interesting game, and then you have people that come from the HR marketing team kind of mucking it up, changing the feel and look of this game.
Oh my god. Fucking HR and marketing can't change the game. Marketing markets the game. HR is there to protect the company. He's saying nothing, but I want you guys to suffer through this with me because this is indicative of every grifter out there. They are saying nothing. He's just super bad at it.
Game to be something that is not really in line with the content of the character themselves. I think this is what we see with the DEI divisions and all these other organizations that come in. You have a finished product, a good game that is ready to be played, and
that's not how it works. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. Not how it works. The game, I know this dumbass is going to go. The game is finished, which it's not. The game's finished, and then these DEI consultants are going to tell you, no, go change it. Go make it more woke. Because that's how they think game design works. They think the product is finished, and then they send it out for edits. And then they get it back, and they say, whoop, Sweet Baby Ink said we have to make this character 20% more gay.
Gamers can't really interact with it in the way they can because they kind of dilute the story. They dilute the actual feel of James Bond by including these limitations on his character, where he probably...
Does he think game companies intentionally sabotage the profit margins to push the... Yes. They all think this. They think they know how anything works. They absolutely do think that game developing companies are pushing an agenda and pushing messaging and want to sacrifice profits for messaging. That's what they think.
Can't be sleeping with multiple women, where he can't be a...
And he's so fixated on the ability to sleep with multiple women. What James Bond video game let you do that? What James Bond video game let you sleep with multiple women? Why is that the focus? Why is that the focus? What James Bond video game was focused on you sleeping with women, or even lets you sleep with women?
Abrasive and misogynistic to a certain standard where he's listening to every boss lady, cherishing everything they say because they're superior to him.
I know this nigga's lonely. I can tell by his fit. I can tell by his haircut. I can tell by what he's saying. I know he's lonely because there's ain't no way someone who has a fulfilling relationship with a woman is going to say this phrase right here as a critique.
To every boss lady, cherishing everything they say.
Cherishing everything they say. Please tell more about yourself.
Because they're superior to him. That's not the James Bond we know. James Bond is not listening to anyone. And I think that's the thing people feel is going to happen with this game. And of course, the gaming media is going to praise this game. And I think that's another problem that we see with this current generation of gaming. Everyone wants praise from the games media, and it's getting it for now. And it just tells me, oh, it's probably following all the standards and rules that they want to see this follow morally.
Let me get this straight. Because a game is getting good press, it's going to be bad.
In virtue signal in a moral way that is in line with what they want to see from the modern day era of James Bond, where, yeah, he can be cool and suave, but he has to be in service of 10 boss ladies.
Oh my God. Why does he keep saying 10 boss ladies? Why does he keep saying 10 boss ladies? Why 10? Why this specific number? Why are you so caught up on that and being subservient? Why are you not talking about the actual game? Like, what is this,
and
dude?
Make sure he shows reverence to them all. And I think that's
reverence?
what I feel when I see this game. I see.
Does this look like reverence to you guys? Does this look like someone? Does this look like someone who's gonna pay reverence?
I'm not loving Beyonds.
No, I've had worse.
Well, in that case.
Well, what are we waiting for? No sign of 009.
We need to inform M.
No time. I'm going after him.
Need to inform him. No time. Does that sound like someone who's listening to all of the boss women? Does that sound like someone who's cherishing everything that they say? Does that sound like someone who's paying reverence? I don't even have to watch the whole trailer. This is the same trailer, mind you, he's been putting in his video. It's muted probably for copyright, but I know how this shit works. He would have been listening to this. He would he just grabbed whatever trailer he could find, which happens to completely defeat this entire point he's making.
Something that is not really interesting. I feel it's the modern day representation of James Bond, where he's working with multiple lesbians that are smarter than him.
Oh, now he has to throw in the lesbians, because remember, you guys, he has to hit the buzzword bingo: DEI, HR, forced diversity, lesbians. You know, we all hate lesbians apparently now.
The evil villain he's fighting has moral high ground. He's superior to him, and it's just like, this is not even James Bond. Where James Bond is essentially the bad guy in this story. I think that's what we.
How did we get to this point? How did we get from they're not letting you be James Bond to James Bond is essentially the bad guy of this story? Mind you, for a game that is not out yet, how are we saying James Bond is the bad guy of this story?
We see with a lot of the elements that are previewed here, where I feel like he is subservient. He is kind of in the position where he's probably the bad guy. He's stealing.
How would James Bond be the bad guy in the James Bond game? This is going to be a franchise. You can't. No, James Bond is never going to be the bad guy. 007 will never be the bad guy. You have to be, quite frankly, a fucking moron to think that.
Stealing something from the bad guy, or he's the bad guy has a morally superior position. And I think that's the thing I don't really like to see with the James Bond movie. I want to see him be the person that is actually in the right of the argument. And I think that's the thing we want from our heroes and spies in this genre. And we're just not going to get that from this because it's contrary to the modern day value.
Pure fiction. Pure fiction. They just create shit to be mad about. I cannot put this any simpler. They just create shit to be mad at.
That we see in society today, and I think that's the thing I feel like is going to be missing from this property. But that's just me. I could be completely wrong. I didn't play this game yet. I'm just looking at it superficially.
I could be completely wrong. This is the cover part right here. He's covering for his ass, but it's too late. It's too late. You made too many declarative statements.
But this is my prediction of what's going to happen with this game. I think now we're getting more subversive tricks because they know we notice all the patterns with these games. So they're giving us a James Bond that looks like James Bond, but I highly doubt it's going to carry its way through. We're not going to see the James Bond we want.
Okay, I think this is enough. I think this is enough. We're gonna just go to this trying part.
Wrong. People are saying they like this game. I'm going to try it out first before I give it my 100% full judgment. I'm hoping they prove me completely erroneous on my judgment, and I would say that out loud, like, oh, I'm wrong. This is James Bond. Because it does look like it has the action scenes, the Uncharted stuff that I want to see from a James Bond. But I know story-wise, that is always the weakness for these games, for modern-day games, where they have to make this character.
See, this is not good. This isn't even good. This isn't even good for coping because your majority of your video is he doesn't even front load it by saying, I hope I'm wrong, but he goes to talking about why he's suspicious of the hype, why strong men being subverted, how you're not even going to be James Bond. They won't let you be James Bond. You're going to guidance becomes control. These women are going to control you. And I'm saying these women are going to control you because in the Black Panther, that's what happened. And then the modern society won't let him do that. And then DEI and the media praise means it's actually bad because it's going to fit through all the DEI standards that they like. And then I have my doubts, but then I'll try it before judging it. Out of your unnecessarily 12-minute long video, you dedicate a minute to actually being like, well, actually, like it's such a transparent tactic, dude. It's so transparent. You are so bad at this, it fucking hurts. He's so bad at this shit, it truly hurts, man. Like, I truly do appreciate at least the smarter grifters because oh my fucking god, dude. Like it is so bad. And I love the whole, well, it's my opinion. No. That is a cop-out. That is a cop-out. That is a cop-out to protect you from any sort of criticism. Well, it's just my opinion. Your opinion is that, what? Having women in games is bad. And that James Bond's going to be bad because a woman is going to tell James Bond what to do. And he's going to have reverence for them. He was using a trailer that had he opened his ears, he would have heard James Bond tell that woman directly, I'm not listening to you. I'm doing this now. I'm not going to wait. Which would completely eradicate the notion of him revering every girl boss he has to run into. That was 17 seconds into the trailer. The same trailer he was using as B-roll footage. This is all of them. This is all of them. This is all of them. Okay? This is why I keep telling you guys, these people have no argument. They have nothing. At their core, they are Wagner. Their complaints boil down to, I don't like women. I don't like minorities. He's just too fucking stupid to give himself enough cover. He just throws in the words DEI. Remember, he added lesbians suddenly because he forgot you have to mention lesbians or you won't get the pop. He just adding this shit, but he is a worse version of them. That is what they do. Going back to Sorrowos, what did they say the Breeding Sorrowos was about? Oh, your wife is your cuck because she dates a black lesbian. Does that happen? No, but it doesn't need to happen because that is their collective consciousness coming together because that's what they believe everything is. They're afraid of blackness. They're afraid of queerness. They're afraid of women. They're afraid of everything. That's why when you look at their stuff, they're like, if Netflix, like their favorite thing is if Netflix made this and it's just a black person. If Netflix made the Lord of the Rings and they have him being black. If Netflix made Bugs Bunny and he's black. If because that's their whole fear. Like that's their whole fear. That's their whole fear. If it was made, if anything was made nowadays, oh, they'd be black. Oh, they'd have women in it. Like one of his examples was there's women in sci-fi now. They're all strong and this and this and that. That's their fear. Their collective true, but they're collective conscious and subconscious. It's just that it's a cycle of fear where at any given moment, someone gay and black might appear. I mean, that's literally Andy Pants' shit, right? Gay, black, disabled, gay, black, trans, gay, something, something, black, something, something, minority group, marginalized group. That's their fear. Whether it's someone like Legendary Drops who try to use more cutesy language to cover that up, or it's fucking Wagner knows why. It is this fear. And for Wagner, that's fucking crazy. Cause I'm like, you are black. No matter how fucked up your haircut is, no matter how you talk, no matter how much you shit on other games that having black people in it, you are black. You are not welcome in their club. If you can only be accepted by a group by continuously diminishing people of your own group, they don't want you, homie. They don't want you, big dog. You know what they call that? A useful idiot. A useful idiot. That's what they call you. That's my biggest fear in life. I literally can't breathe when I think about them. Like I'm saying, that's a tap dancing for white supremacy, which is what I said a long time ago, right? That in my white supremacy is ruining gaming discourse video, all of this shit connects to that. They will do anything they can to appear to be one of the good ones. All of his content, every single piece of Wagner Knows Why's content is geared towards that specific audience. And it's so blatantly sad. It's so sad. Everything he has, this is cucks. They're cucking you. They don't like black people. Black people bad. Black people bad. Look at this. Look at this. I'm awesome. I'm great. Oh, you guys are talking about return? Like everyone go back to the past? Yeah, I'll do that too. Oh, you guys don't like Black Snape? I don't like Black Snape either. Here, look at me. I'm not putting Black Snape up here. You guys love Stellar Blade. I love Stellar Blade too. You guys hate lesbians. I hate lesbians too. I hate women. Also, I also miss gaming girls back then when they are like wearing big titties and shit. I also hate gay people. See, please let me join the club, you guys. Please put me in the club. Look. I'm even saying that it's a sleepover disaster, and he likes trans people. That's bad. Like this is the biggest raccoon tap dancing behavior you will see. Just unadulterated sucking the dick of white supremacy. Just fully no opinions of his own. Just regurgitating every talking point that bigger anti-woke creators have given him. Just truly the most NPC of NPCs. Why Netflix Splinter Cell is a disappointment for gamers. And what does he have on the cover? Does he have Sam Fisher? No. He has a black character on the cover. Oh, Charlie Kirk Detected? Better put a black character on the cover that's not related to this. Like it's so oh, but listen, I'm a gooner. I like big titties. Don't think I'm not like you guys. But look at this woke chin. Look at Big Chin. Big chins have ruined female characters in gaming. Black Snape is legitimately no. I think I will say this: Black Snape is a bad choice. Like it's just knowing Snake's background and how Harry treats him, that's gonna read terribly. But this is all his content is. Oh my god, dude. Is this how you started? Yeah, this is how he started. Okay. Oh, okay. So he was just like this. I don't like Harry Potter either. But it is a bad choice. Oh, he's always been this shitty. Oh my god. Ow, these thumbnails hurt. Jesus Christ, my eyes hurt. Oh my god. Oh, so he's always been this shitty. There's no way that he's a writer. I'm sorry. You're a game developer and a writer. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Here's the thing: if they change how they handle Snape in the Harry Potter, then they should have not made Snape black. If you have to change so much what makes Snape Snape, then it's a weird. It's a that seems more like a them being tone deaf. Look, this is his output. It is the most pick me ass fucking content I have seen, dude. And I just did a video on Shoe on Head, and this shit blows that out of the water. And the thing is too, he really did try to hit on this too. He tried the black Snape multiple times, just didn't pop. This is why woke will control everything in the future. Why every game adaptation becomes a disaster at Amazon. Like these are why woke dispatch is a success while marathon life is strange are failures. Life is strange isn't a failure. Marathon's not a failure either. Space is beautiful again. Like and the thing too is I'm sorry. You niggas are too ugly to be talking about this shit. I'm so tired of ugly ass motherfuckers popping off about people's appearance in games. I am. Like, shut the fuck up. Oh, I wouldn't look at beautiful people. Then you must avoid mirrors in your home. Like, I hate that shit so fucking much, dude. I hate that shit so fucking much. You are so fucking myopic in your thinking. Notice how at no point does he talk about Code Violet, by the way. I checked his channel. At no point is he talking about Code Violet. You know, the game with the sexy character that fucking was awful. Weird how they don't talk about that. They'll keep talking about Jordan from Intergalactic, but they won't talk about that game. It's weird how Code Violet has just completely bypassed all of their critiques. He said Silent Hill F was a failure. This is what I'm saying. These people are so fucking stupid. They're like, oh, these games are failures. They did bad. They're awful. The game has a 9 out of 10 on fucking Steam. Like it's like it's crazy. It's crazy, dude. All I'm saying is all these people who are so concerned with the appearance of characters in video games and really people's appearance in general, I say, are you only playing games to masturbate? Because then you always talk about games needing to have good looking people in it, and you're saying you're going to play like The Witcher. Are you telling me that Yennefer and Triss are what's motivating you to play that game that's over, like, if you do everything, like 500 hours? That's what motivates you? The characters have to look like porn stars for you want to play the game for 80 plus hours? That's the motivating factor for you. Why aren't you playing Code Violet then? Why aren't you playing First Descendant then? First Ascendant needs you. Legitimately. That game's not doing well, numbers wise. Code Violet, one of the worst games of the year. Why aren't you playing it nonstop? Big titty woman, right? With guns. You like that shit. That's all that matters to you, right? Also, Silent Hill F, the game that he said was a flop, is literally the fastest selling entry in the franchise. And it sold over 1 million copies within 24 hours. I think the game did okay. There's a taste crisis in America. These guys don't even know what they like. Well, if you tell me Eric Ishii or Jordan A1 or ugly, then I don't even want it. Exactly. Because good looking sees people just like, does she have big boobs? Are her boobies big and bouncy? Then she's hot. That's it. If she has big boobies, then she's hot. That's their critique. That's their critique. That's it. Maybe nowadays, if her butt looks nice, but if she has big boobies, she's hot. Like, it's insane. It's fucking insane. Everything has to be horny for them. That's it. That's the only way they can play video games or enjoy anything. And I just find that to be so incredibly fucking sad, dude. So incredibly sad. Such a sad existence. I thank God every day I'm not Wagner. I'm thankful that I'm me. Holy shit, dude. And on that note, I said this would be like a 2-hour stream. It's almost been 3 hours. We'll stop it here. Just Jesus Christ, man! I just can't believe I truly can't believe. I truly cannot believe there are just people like this. They're just like this. Like, of all the ways to make money, this is how you want to do a fucking one-man minstrel show on the internet. Like, you're putting your face out here with this, what takes like this. Criminal Gay Indian. Sorrowos is the worst game of the year. The question marks are hyperbolic. These are the titles are with everything without the question mark. Like, it's so like, this should be disqualifying for someone who calls themselves a game developer and writer. This should be disqualifying. Like, it's insane. And the funniest thing too is he's doing that thing that non-black, like, anti-woke people do, where they try to like memify black culture by like, notice how like you see how Edward Kenway has a chain in the grill and he has his ears pierced and he's doing that thing. He's doing the same thing for Crimson Desert, the same thing for Dawn Walk. Like, he's literally adopting the visual memes of these racist anti-woke people when he's black. Like, that's insane to me. He's even adopting their own language. Make men weak again. Gamers wants revenge against gamers for banning DEI. So of course, once again, he's using Jordan or Tati Gabriel's character from Intergalactic, like fully just adopting. It's so crazy. God, these people are the easiest fucking people to grift off of. Holy shit, dude. God, they are so lucky I don't have standards. Is he FBA? No way. Guarantee he's not FBA. He's not. For those of you who don't know, FBA stands for Foundational Black Americans. There's no way he's FBA. Look how he's anti-black himself. He's a raccoon. He's going to get his Candace and Mesopur are going through it for the anti-black rhetoric. The funniest thing is, I keep telling these anti-black content creators, this is not for you, dog. Yeah, I know it's also lineage. I know what it is. I'm saying he's not. He's not advocating for blackness. I hate you guys. Um, I hate you guys so much. But no, like I keep telling this to all the anti-black content creators out there. If you are going down this route, you are asking for a small, if even relevant, shelf life. These people don't care about you, big dog. Of all like the big grifters, the ones who are making money off of this, how many of them in this space are black? Because I know like the Hodge twins, but they're not in that space. You look at Tyrone, what's his name? Tyrone Magnus? Tyrone Magnus, right? Like you look at Tyrone Magnus, and his views are fucking tanking. He's going through his own fucking Daily Wire shit. Like look at this. Tyrone Magnus, right? Boy has 2 million subscribers. The highest view count he has is 22,000. Okay, 30,000 2 days ago. 16, 10. You have 2 million subscribers. You have 2 million subscribers. And you can't even crack like 90K. Okay, here you go. Avengers Doom's trailer. Oh, this is a fake AI trailer. So because he put Avengers Doomsday, that got 114,000. That was 2 weeks ago. Like his views are going down precipitously. This is a channel that has 2 million subscribers. Former actor. Exactly. Like it's insane. It's insane. And I think even he is trying to pivot away from the ostensibly anti-woke shit. Yeah, because it's not even so overtly negative. But I think he's even trying to pivot away from. I mean, now he's just doing no more slop shit. But like, did Trump go too far? Oh, this is his off. This is his off ramp. This is his off ramp, right here. This is the off ramp. Marvel is back. Oh, now I can start glazing Marvel again. Yeah, see, this is. Well, like again, you go to the anti woke. You're black. This is your outcome. And he is a pretty successful, or was a pretty successful and liked black content creator. Look at this shit. The minute he went anti woke, just dog water views, just absolute dog water. Dog water. 2 million. If my channel had 2 million and I can't even crack 100K consistently, I'm washed. My channel has 8,000. Hey, it's me. This is almost half my subscriber base right here. That's a pretty good ratio. 8,000 subscribers, 4,000 views. 8, 4, 8, 2, 2, 5K. This one's kind of, these ones, you guys should have watched my Invincible one. You guys are fake fans. But like 7K, 11K, 82,000, 2.8. Like I get pretty good averages for a channel of my size. More often than not, I'm on the higher end for that. This is a channel with 8,000 subscribers. Look at this ratio, right? I even had the video that did like 82. Literally 10 times the amount I have. But look at this ratio. Why I pretty much average over 2,000 views. Sometimes I get 10, sometimes I get 8. I usually average around like over like 2,000 views, right? 3,000 views more often than not. Compared to my 8,000 subscribers. This guy has 2 million. And he's getting 22,000, 16,000, 44,000. And if we give him the YouTube, usually after like 5 or 6 days when you hit your maximum. So like after like 7 days, 21,000. He had that one pop off because he talks about Marvel, specifically Avengers Doomsday. But other than that, he can't even come close to 100K on a channel with 2 million subscribers. And this isn't to pocket watch, but it's just to highlight that even someone with this subscriber base, when you are black and you try to do this anti woke shit, you are not understanding that to be anti woke is to be inherently anti black. They are racists. They're not going to support you. And the people who were supporting you aren't racist. So when you start doing this shit, they're like, hey, you're doing some weird racist shit. I don't like that. I'm not watching your videos. I'm not subscribing to your content. I'm not actively viewing your shit anymore. So again, if you are a black content creator and you want to pop off, don't do the anti-woke route. There is no pot of gold at the end of that rainbow for you. That's it. That's my moral. That's the moral of this video, of this stream. Is don't be racist, you guys. Racism, bad. That's it. Just racism bad. And also, do not end up like Wagner. Knows why. Jesus Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. As long as you don't end up like that guy, you'll be okay. Okay? Racism is expensive. It's not cool. It makes your brain to mush. It's like that one commercial, that drug commercial. God, if I can find it, I'd be so happy. It's an old commercial. Wait, make days commercial. Sonic says racism is a no. No, it's a commercial it's I have to find it. It's what's it called? Drugs. D stands for depressed commercial. It's a perfect commercial. It's an old like 90s commercial. It's an animated commercial. You guys have to know. You have to know I'm talking about. Yes. Oh my God. 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 Okay, this is what I'm talking about. This is like for racism, okay?
Too.
This thing, okay?
You know why drugs begins with D? Because dirty does too. And so does dizzy. Down. Disaster. Dazed. Disgusting. Depressed. And definitely dangerous. That's why you don't do drugs. It's just dumb.
Okay, that was what I was trying to get at, but just for racism. That's what racism is, okay? This is your first time seeing it. I'm glad I can put you guys onto an old 90s commercial that's an anti-drugs PSA. But that's just for racism, okay? It's for racism. If you grew up in the 90s, you have seen this one. You've also seen the Scruff McGruff. Cartoon and lady uses the pan. That lady? You mean Winona Ryder? the Winona Ryder hat? Yeah. I'm old, baby. Yeah. You guys see the white? I'm an old head. Don't do drugs. They make you dizzy and disgusting. There's also that penny anti. You know what? Next stream, we're gonna have a vintage '90s commercial. Just let you guys know how fucking old I am. We're just gonna have vintage '90s shit. Look forward to that next stream, next actual proper stream. So probably like this Saturday, we'll do uh, uh, look how old TTP and gaming is when he talks about the commercials he used to watch on TV. Because even saying you watch commercials dates you nowadays. 37, here I come. Hey, same. Feels old. I think the issue is they don't think they're doing racism, or they absolutely, Starro, they know they're doing racism. They don't care. That's the thing. They don't want to be called racist, but they know they're engaging in racism. Whether they believe that to be facts or not, they are engaging in racism. They know that. They just don't care because they get that, they check their YouTube earnings and it clears that $100 threshold, and so they say, "Oop, I can eat tonight." They don't give a shit. That's why you see all these blue check marks on YouTube, or sorry, blue check marks on Twitter. They don't give a fuck. As long as I get that payout, baby, I don't care. That's how they function. Everything they do is for money. Every single thing they do is for money, no matter what. They have no spine. They have no morals. It's just everything's money. If it gets them money, they are going to do it. But like I said, y'all, short stream today. Not a real stream. Not a real stream. This is the fake stream. Saturday is the real stream. Every other stream I do is not a real stream. Saturday is the real stream. Sorry, I'm gonna need you guys to stand ready for my arrival on Saturday. It was a short stream. Yeah, you guys know I stream for like fucking 6 hours. This is a 3-hour stream. This is a diet stream. But stand ready for my arrival. Oh, and if you're one of those people who are obsessed with me and are like, "Oh my god, you're so hot, I want to go on your stream," I'm gonna need you to calm down. I understand. When I go face cam, when I go full face, it's a lot. But I do it for you. All right, y'all. Good night.